Chapter 421, Unfading Belief, Earth Knight. Bai Yiyuan brought Shi Xing'an and Liang Yu over. Having gone through life and death together, the two were inseparable. It was their first time coming to a place like the Bai Divine Courtyard, and they were facing top figures like Bai Yiyuan and Meng Anwen. Shi Xing'an and Liang Yu were very nervous and extremely restrained. Only after seeing Lin Moyu did the two relax a little. Meng Anwen had already created the class advancement magic circle at this time, and looked at Shi Xing'an. You are too excited now, adjust yourself first. Shi Xing'an dared not disobey Meng Anwen's words, and immediately sat down, trying to keep himself calm. But with a flurry of thoughts coming, Shi Xing'an couldn't calm down no matter what. Being not calm was not conducive to class advancement. Lin Moyu understood this and said to Shi Xing'an, Big brother Shi, it's just a class advancement. Teacher Meng and Teacher Bai have already prepared everything. As long as you can maintain a firm belief, there is more than a 60% chance of triggering a profession sublimation. Shi Xing'an tried to adjust his breathing. I understand, but I'm still a little nervous. Liang Yu walked over and suddenly kicked Shi Xing'an lightly. You dead rock, are you a man? You're not afraid of death, what's there to be afraid of in just a class advancement? Liang Yu knew Shi Xing'an best, and just one sentence awakened him. That's right, he wasn't even afraid of death, so what was there to be nervous about? It was just a class advancement, what was so great about it? Lin Moyu had even prepared such precious heart of earth and earth gem for him. And Divine Bai had prepared various materials for him, and the number one formation mage of the human race had personally created a class advancement magic circle for him. What was there to be afraid of? His mood finally calmed down, and he respectfully saluted Meng Anwen and Bai Yiyuan. Sorry for the trouble, Divine An and Divine Bai. Shi Xing'an walked to the center of the formation. Meng Anwen pointed a finger, and the class advancement magic circle started running with a roar. Streams of light rushed into the sky, converging into a colorful light in the air, and then falling down like a glow, enveloping Shi Xing'an. Shi Xing'an held the earth gem in his left hand and the heart of earth in his right hand. The Heart of Earth could allow paladins to trigger a special profession sublimation during the second class advancement, thereby becoming Earth Knights in one fell swoop. If there was also an Earth Gem to cooperate, the probability of triggering sublimation would be greatly increased. Lin Moyu and Liang Yu watched quietly. At this time, Shi Xing'an was calm, but Liang Yu was a little nervous instead. Lin Moyu said, Sister Yu, don't be nervous, believe in Big Brother Shi, there will be no problem. Liang Yu nodded, I believe in him. That's what she said, but Liang Yu's rapidly rising and falling chest, and her clenched fists, betrayed her. Shi Xing'an was oblivious to outside affairs at this time, and completely calmed down. He quickly thought about his experiences over the years, until recently when his 3 comrades died under the swords of the dragon race in order to protect him. This further stimulated his desire to become an Earth Knight. Only if he became an Earth Knight, and then reached the divine level, would it be possible to kill into the dragon race and avenge his dead brothers. At this moment, Shi Xing'an abandoned the idea of failure. He could not fail, and could not possibly fail, and would not fail. The power of belief became stronger, and strands of power were growing in his body. The power in the magic circle poured in, breaking the barrier of level for Shi Xing'an. Now there were 2 paths placed in front of Shi Xing'an. One was to become a great knight, which was just the title of a paladin after the second class advancement, and was essentially no different from a paladin. Just like a mage becomes a great mage, they are essentially mages. The other was the Earth Knight. Whether he could become an Earth Knight depended half on luck and half on himself. I must become an Earth Knight. I believe that man can conquer nature. I will not retreat, I must succeed. I want to avenge my brothers, I want to kill into the dragon race, I want to protect the human race. The power called belief became stronger and stronger. The earth gem in his left hand suddenly emitted a faint light. Then the light began to become stronger. Shi Xing'an activated the earth gem with the power of belief. Under the illumination of the earth gem's light, the heart of earth in his right hand also began to emit a faint light. The 2 lights merged into one and enveloped Shi Xing'an. Together with the class advancement magic circle, they merged into Shi Xing'an's body. Shi Xing'an slowly rose into the air in the magic circle, hovering in midair. It's done, Bai Yiyuan shouted in a low voice. Meng Anwen sighed softly. It has been many years since an Earth Knight has appeared in the human race, and now there is finally one again. Lin Moyu said in a low voice. Big Brother Shi used his belief to activate the Earth Gem in the heart of Earth, triggering profession sublimation. Liang Yu was in tears at this time, extremely excited. I knew you could do it. Lin Moyu thought of the last moment in the corpse world. It was the divine-level powerhouse of the human race who protected him. Even if they had become corpses and had died for thousands of years, the belief in protecting the human race had never changed. Protect the human race. It was engraved into the bone marrow, deep into the soul, and even time could hardly erase it. Having had that experience, Lin Moyu believed that the power of belief could create miracles. Lin Moyu was even more convinced that if one day he dispelled the corpse poison, could those human powerhouses with unfading beliefs come back again. Unfading belief. 03. Lin Mo silently chanted in his heart. At this moment, he also had a strong belief. A surge of immense power was rising, and the colors of the sky and earth changed. A piece of illusory land appeared in the air, like a mirage. This land was incredibly vast, covering all directions, and slowly subsided after lasting for 2 minutes in the air. In Lin Mo's eyes, this land gradually shrank, eventually merging into Shi Xing'an's body. Shi Xing'an's aura subsequently increased dramatically. An unusual phenomenon appeared in the sky, with 7-colored light pouring in from all directions, falling into Shi Xing'an's body. The Earth Knight is the ceiling of Knight-type professions, the strongest Knight, without exception. A celestial phenomenon is bound to occur during the job change. The heart of the earth seemed to come alive, transforming into the shape of a heart, throbbing rhythmically. With each beat, the earth would tremble slightly. Subsequently, the heart of the earth and the earth gem drilled into Shi Xing'an's body together. In an instant, Shi Xing'an's body shone brightly. The earth rumbled, and Shi Xing'an also fell with it. A surge of intense energy fluctuations transmitted from the earth. Meng Anwen said, "The Earth Knight communicates with the power of the earth, using the earth's endless energy at my disposal. When standing on the earth, there is a possibility of never exhausting power. 90% of all attacks against him will be diverted into the earth, with the earth sharing the burden for him. Every attack can trigger the power of the earth." Meng Anwen's 3 sentences pointed out the powerful essence of the Earth Knight. As long as you stand on the earth, the ability to continue fighting is endless, all damage is directly immune by 90%, and the attack is enhanced by the power of the earth. The Earth Knight is the darling of the earth, the favorite son. How could such a profession not be strong? Someone once said, to defeat the Earth Knight, you can only do it in the sky. But facing the Earth Knight, you can't fly at all. With a soft hum, a halo appeared under Shi Xing'an's feet. Then the second and third halos appeared one after another. In the blink of an eye, 4 halos appeared under Shi Xing'an's feet. Red, blue, green, and yellow halos rotated slowly under his feet. The halo is very similar to that of the Holy Light Knight, with the same effect but even more powerful. He has what the Holy Light Knight has, and he also has what the Holy Light Knight doesn't have. 10 minutes later, Shi Xing'an slowly landed. The job change magic circle also stopped, and the job change officially ended. Liang Yu was filled with joy and tears, flying into Shi Xing'an's arms and hugging him tightly. Shi Xing'an suppressed the excitement in his heart. "I succeeded." Liang Yu nodded vigorously. "I knew you would succeed." Shi Xing'an and Liang Yu cuddled for a while, then walked over and said to Meng Anwen and Bai Yiyuan, "I am grateful for the grace of God and in God Bai." Bai Yiyuan waved his hand. "No need to thank us, thank Xiao Yu. He got the heart of the earth and the earth gem, otherwise we wouldn't be able to do anything." Shi Xing'an was about to thank Lin Mo, but was stopped by Lin Mo. "Brother Shi doesn't have to be like this. If it were you, you would do the same." Lin Mo spoke sincerely, and Shi Xing'an was not a pretentious person. Shi Xing'an laughed heartily. "Then I won't talk nonsense. In the future, if Brother Lin needs anything, just say a word, and this old brother will go through fire and water without blinking an eye." Lin Mo smiled. "Brother Shi just needs to remember his belief." Shi Xing'an's expression straightened. "I will never dare to forget." Lin Mo smiled, took out a shield and threw it to Shi Xing'an. "This is a congratulatory gift. Congratulations to Brother Shi for becoming an Earth Knight." Shi Xing'an took the shield and took a look. His whole body was shocked. "This is too precious." Lin Mo waved his hand. "You're not allowed to return it to me. Throw it away if you don't like it." Throw it away? Shi Xing'an couldn't bear it. What Lin Mo sent out was the most top-quality shield he had obtained so far. A better shield than the earth-touching dragon god's shield. From the upper core area of the primordial battlefield, the battlefield snake turtle. Turtle shell shield, night only, platinum shield, all attributes +3000, Night defense skill amplification 90%, physical damage reduction 20%, elemental damage reduction 20%, attached skill, turtle shell. Turtle shell. Cannot move for 30 seconds, during which all damage is immune, all injuries are restored, and the cooldown of all skills except this skill is reset, cooldown time is 1 hour. Chapter 422 You shouldn't deceive this emperor. Shi Xing'an successfully changed jobs, and the human race now has another Earth Knight. The celestial phenomenon during the job change must have been seen by many people. This kind of phenomenon has been recorded in history. Anyone who has gone to school knows that this is the phenomenon that only appears when the Earth Knight changes jobs. Shi Xing'an's job change into an Earth Knight cannot be hidden. In fact, there was no intention to hide it. Now the demon worship society in the country has been cleaned up almost. As long as Shi Xing'an is within the borders, there will basically be no danger. Sure enough, Lin Mo had just returned to the academy when he heard people talking about Shi Xing'an. After decades, the Earth Knight reappeared in the human race. The sealing profession of knights makes countless people envious. I saw in a book that about 130 years ago, an Earth Knight led an army and attacked the entrance of the Abyss, almost hitting the native world of the Abyss. It's a pity that it was still a little short in the end. Because that Earth Knight was only level 91, if he could be a few levels higher, he would definitely be able to hit it. I have also read the records of that battle. It was the one time our human race hit the deepest part of the Abyss. I hope that this Earth Knight can lead the army and hit the Abyss world after stepping into the God level. Definitely, I believe it. The students' mouths were filled with discussions about the Earth Knight. The appearance of the Earth Knight gave them new hope. This is a magical and great profession, which has created too much glory since its birth. It has become the most headache profession for the Abyss demons and dragons. Therefore, in the primordial battlefield, whenever the crypt copy appears, the Abyss demons and dragons will try to prevent the human race from obtaining the heart of the earth. In fact, it is to prevent the human race from appearing as Earth Knights again. But now, an Earth Knight has finally appeared in the human race again. The obstruction of the Abyss demons and dragons has also declared failure. Recently, the elimination of the Demon Worship Society has made the country a little chaotic, and the atmosphere has also fallen into a low ebb. But the appearance of the Earth Knight is like injecting a shot in the arm into the Shangxia Empire. Everyone's most concerned point has also come to the Earth Knight. On the contrary, not many people mentioned the fact that Lin Mo became a 2-star god general. It may also be because Lin Mo's reputation is already too great, and it has reached its limit. Lin Mo entered the copy hall again. Now he is not far from level 49. If he seizes the time, he can be promoted to level 50 in less than 2 days. When he masters the new skills, he will go to the primordial battlefield. The agreement with the God of Righteousness and the transaction with the ancient Earth Dragon are waiting for him. Lin Mo also did not forget the arrow revenge of the ancient Luan bird. Along the way, people respectfully greeted Lin Mo. His reputation is too great, and his status is too high. It makes people forget that he is clearly a new student who has been enrolled for less than a year. In just a year, he had reached a peak that many people couldn't achieve in a lifetime. Entering the instance, he breathed in the slightly chilly air from the Beast God Highland. Who would have thought that a demon king was once buried in this instance? The undead army cleared monsters along the way, quickly reaching the third highland. Lin Mo Yu looked at the location where he fought the Flame Demon King, and a faint voice came from his mouth. It's a pity, if it were outside, I would have erected a tombstone for you, after all, you were a demon king. The Flame Demon King died in the instance, not even worthy of a tombstone, truly ironic. Deep within the abyss, the abyssal fire here had turned dark green, almost black. Here, a huge palace floated. Abyssal fire guarded it, the entire palace rising and falling in the flames. Succubus King, Black Sky Demon King, Sword Demon King, 8-Armed Demon King, and a group of other intermediate demon kings with powerful bloodlines gathered together. They stood respectfully outside the palace for many days. No one dared to object, even the usually jovial Succubus King had put away her smile and stood upright seriously. Black Sky Demon King stood beside the Succubus King and whispered, "Do you know why His Majesty summoned us here?" Succubus King responded in a low voice, "It should be related to the recent actions of the human race. It seems that the Demon Worship Society in the Divine Sha Empire has been almost completely eradicated." Black Sky Demon King was slightly stunned. Wasn't the Demon Worship Society always under your control? Succubus King whispered, "Actually, His Majesty is behind the Demon Worship Society, I'm just responsible for showing up." Only then did Black Sky Demon King realize that the one behind the Demon Worship Society was not the Succubus King. As far as he knew, many human experts were subdued by the Succubus King. Under the influence of the Succubus King's charm, some humans unknowingly became the Succubus King's lackeys. Once subdued, there was almost no possibility of escape, and they could only become obedient slaves. Among the human experts that the Succubus King had subdued over the years, there were even divine level ones. Therefore, he admired the Succubus King, but was also very wary. Afraid that one day he would fall for the Succubus King's tricks. But he never expected that the mastermind behind the Demon Worship Society was actually His Majesty the Demon Emperor. The palace in the flames finally moved. The dark green flames rose and completely enveloped the palace. In the flames, a huge demon emerged. It had a sharp horn on its head, and its simulation looked slightly similar to the dragon race, but completely different. It was huge, like a giant. The demon wings on its back were equally huge, and they stretched out more than 10 meters at will. Its whole body was covered with scales, and a ball of flame seemed to be beating in each scale. It sat on the Demon Emperor's throne, exuding an earth-shattering pressure. The moment it appeared, all the demons bent down and bowed their heads. "Greetings, Your Majesty the Demon Emperor." The Demon Emperor's gaze slowly swept over the Demon Kings. Every Demon King who was swept by its gaze felt as if a sharp sword was cutting across their necks, about to cut off their heads. The Demon Emperor's power was unimaginable to them. Usually, the Demon Emperor lived in the Demon Emperor's palace and rarely appeared. Even if there was something, it would only send an order. It was rare to summon them all together like this. The Demon Emperor's low voice slowly sounded, "Very good, you're all here. Recently, there have been some actions on the human side. The Demon Worship Society in the Divine Sha Empire has been eradicated. Succubus King, what do you think of this matter?" Succubus King was startled, her voice slightly trembling. This time, Bai Yi Yuan and Meng and Wen acted together. "The action was too sudden. I have already issued an order to counterattack." The Demon Emperor suddenly chuckled, the sound making the Succubus King feel horrified. "You ordered all the Demon Worship Society members to counterattack, right?" Succubus King nodded. "She did order that." The Demon Emperor said coldly, "Do you think that under the eyes of a group of level 95 divine level experts in the Divine Sha Empire, your counterattack will be useful?" Succubus King's mind raced like lightning, and suddenly realized something. "I originally didn't want to counterattack, but that Flame Demon King swore that he could kill Lin Mo Yu, and hoped that I would cooperate with him. That's why I ordered people to take action to help the Flame Demon King attract attention and create opportunities for him." The Demon Emperor's laughter was even colder. "Is it because he has no brains, or do you think this emperor has no brains? Do you believe these words yourself?" Succubus King shuddered and knelt down in the air, not daring to say anything more. At this moment, a terrifying aura descended from the sky and landed on the Succubus King. The Succubus King's body suddenly burst into flames, emitting bursts of screams. But in the flames, she still dared not move, and even tried to suppress the screams. The Demon Emperor continued, "You issued a stupid order. Bai Yi Yuan and Meng and Wen are waiting for you to counterattack so they can catch you all in one fell swoop. Fish hiding in the mud are hard to catch. Aren't fish jumping out of the water easy to catch? Stupid. This emperor doesn't care about the loss of the Demon Worship Society, just some chess pieces laid out when bored, but you shouldn't lie to this emperor." Succubus King originally wanted to push the responsibility to the Flame Demon King. "Anyway, the dead can't testify." But unexpectedly, she gritted her teeth, filled with fear. "Your subordinate dares not. Please forgive me, Your Majesty." With a soft snort, the flames on the Succubus King's body gradually disappeared. Succubus King breathed heavily, feeling a lingering fear. If the flames had continued for a while longer, she would have been burned to death. She, a dignified Demon King, was powerless against the Demon Emperor. The Demon Emperor continued, "The Flame Demon King is already dead. That trash deserved to die. The human world is not so easy to go to." Hearing that the Flame Demon King was dead, the Demon Kings were slightly stunned. They didn't expect that guy to die in the human race. Succubus King's heart trembled even more. She didn't expect the Demon Emperor to know about this. "The reason I summoned you here this time is to have you do a few things. First, prepare for war and guard the entrance to the abyss. The dragon race is mobilizing its forces, and the war is not far away. Second, A Earth Knight has appeared in the human race. I feel that hateful aura, find him and kill him. Third, the person who killed the Flame Demon King is called Lin Mo Yu, find him and kill him. Chapter 423. Once he reaches third revolution, none of us are a match. After leaving the Demon Emperor's palace, the Demon Kings gradually relaxed. They dared not disobey the orders given by the Demon Emperor just now. And the tasks had already been assigned. Because Succubus King had been dealing with the human race for many years, the task of killing the Earth Knight and Lin Mo Yu fell on her. The Demon Emperor obviously didn't know that she had dealt with Lin Mo Yu several times, and each time she had suffered a loss. If she could kill him, she would have done it long ago. But she dared not say it, let alone refuse. Succubus King, please wait. Just as she was thinking about how to deal with Lin Mo Yu, Black Sky Demon King's voice came from behind. Black Sky Demon King was also assigned the task of finding the Earth Knight and killing Lin Mo Yu. Now, he and Succubus King could be said to be comrades in arms. Succubus King asked, "What's the matter, Black Sky Demon King?" Succubus King was still very polite to Black Sky Demon King. The other party's level was not worse than her own, and his combat power was known to be strong. His strength should be stronger than her own. Succubus King would definitely respect the strong. Black Sky Demon King said, "I want to ask Succubus King for some information about Lin Mo Yu. To be honest, when in the ancient battlefield, the Flame Demon King once issued a kill order for Lin Mo Yu. That day, my son happened to be in the ancient battlefield. After receiving the Demon King's order, he went to hunt down Lin Mo Yu, but was killed instead. 05. Not long after that incident, I really couldn't understand how Lin Mo Yu could reach the level of a God-class expert in such a short period of time. In his opinion, only a God-class expert from the human race could kill a Demon King. The difference between above and below the God class was like the difference between above and below the Demon King. It wasn't just a difference in level, but a qualitative change. The Succubus Queen suddenly let out a charming laugh. Lin Mo Yu is not a God-class expert. The Black Sky Demon King was shocked. Not a God-class expert. Then how could he kill the Flame Demon King? The Succubus Queen said, "The matter of Lin Mo Yu is a long story, let's talk as we walk." Alright. Along the way, the Succubus Queen told the story of Lin Mo Yu. She also wanted to kill Lin Mo Yu, and if the Black Sky Demon King joined, the chances of success might be greater. After listening, the Black Sky Demon King said in a deep voice, "In that case, it is only natural that my son died in Lin Mo Yu's hands." Even though he was not even level 50, he could kill a Demon King. Lin Mo Yu's combat power could not be measured by common sense. The Succubus Queen said, "Even if that idiot the Flame Demon King entered the dungeon himself, and his strength was suppressed, he was still a Demon King after all. Lin Mo Yu's combat power is even stronger than it was during the everlasting battlefield, and he has fought the dragon race several times, yet the dragon race can't do anything about him. They even kidnapped his friends to launch a sneak attack, but it ended in failure, and they even lost a Dragon King. This guy is not only lucky, but also difficult to deal with. I feel that if he reaches the God class, even we won't be his match." The Black Sky Demon King had a different opinion. No need to wait for him to reach the God class. I feel that as soon as he completes his third job advancement, he will be able to contend with us. So to kill him, we must take advantage of the present. Otherwise, when he completes his third job advancement, perhaps only His Majesty the Demon Emperor can kill him. The Succubus Queen thought that what the Black Sky Demon King said made sense. I also want to kill him, but he is in the human race's world, we have no way to do it. The Black Sky Demon King said, first keep an eye on him, see if he will leave the human race, and then I will think of a way. That's the only option for now. The two discussed for a while before separating. Killing Lin Mo Yu was difficult, but it had to be done. In the eyes of the Black Sky Demon King, killing Lin Mo Yu was more important and more difficult than killing the Earth Knight. The cult of the demon basically has been eradicated, but a few small fries are still left. It should be enough to keep an eye on someone. Lin Mo Yu farmed dungeons for 2 days in a row, and finally reached level 50. After reaching level 50, the experience required to level up increased drastically again. Even a level 45 dungeon like the Beast God Plateau could no longer meet the leveling requirements. Each time he farmed a dungeon, he could only increase 1% of his experience. He needed to farm it 100 times to level up once. Who could stand that? The main reason was that Lin Moyu's leveling speed was too fast. Others might spend several years, or even 10 years, in the stage from level 40 to level 50. Unlike Lin Moyu, who completed the feat from job advancement to level 50 in less than a year. In the eyes of others, Lin Moyu's leveling speed was already a miracle. But in Lin Moyu's eyes, his leveling speed was not fast. With the excellent example of Lin Mohan, his sister. Lin Moyu left the dungeon and went to the exchange. The exchange was slightly damaged in the previous battle, but it has now been basically completely repaired. Lin Moyu hadn't been to the exchange for a long time, and his storage space had been filled with a large number of gold-grade and platinum-grade equipment and weapons. Lin Moyu was too lazy to consign them one by one, so he simply threw them all to the exchange. He used to want to keep some platinum-grade equipment with good attributes for himself or for Ning Yi. But now he had seen too many good things, boss accessories, legendary-grade weapons, and even mythic-grade weapons. Unconsciously, his standards had been raised, and he no longer liked these things. Now, in his eyes, only legendary-grade or boss-grade accessories could be considered good things. At the very least, they had to be top-tier platinum-grade equipment, the kind with top-tier attributes and top-tier skills. Both were indispensable. Although he had obtained so much equipment, only a few pieces could be called top quality. One of them, the turtle shell shield, had already been given to Shi Xing'an. The remaining ones were a few pieces of equipment obtained from the Earth-Touch Dragon God, and the Soul-Devouring Dagger obtained from the Soul-Devouring Worm King. Soul-Devouring Dagger, Assassin Class Exclusive Platinum-Grade Weapon, all attributes plus 2500, Assassin Class Skill Amplification 80%. Attached Skill, Soul-Devouring. Soul-Devouring Passive Skill. Each attack will deal damage to the target's soul. This damage ignores defense, ignores physical immunity, ignores elemental immunity. He had no use for this thing, and originally wanted to give it to Ning Yi. However, Ning Yi said something similar to the boss accessory, so Lin Moyu put it away. Originally, the Soul-Devouring Ring's attributes were also good, but because there was a boss accessory, it seemed inferior, so Lin Moyu thought about it and sold it. In the end, he only kept the Soul-Devouring Dagger, the Touch Dragon God Sword, the Touch Dragon God Shield, and the Touch Dragon God Magic Robe, 4 pieces of equipment. All the other platinum-grade and gold-grade weapons were thrown into the exchange in exchange for a large amount of gold coins. At the moment Lin Moyu sold the equipment, the magic crystal of the exchange stalled. The person in charge of the exchange in the Empire was dumbfounded. How could so many weapons be thrown in at once? The amount was too large, he did not dare to make the decision. But when he checked the name of the trader, his body trembled. The seller was actually Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu's reputation was too great. He could not know him, but he could not know him. He contacted his superiors as soon as possible, and then his superiors contacted his superiors. In just a dozen seconds, he received a reply from the highest level. We will buy back all the items sold by General Lin at a 20% premium. All the items purchased by General Lin will be discounted by 20%. He did not hesitate and immediately carried out a series of operations. Lin Moyu found that the exchange returned to normal after stalling for a while. A large number of gold coins entered his account, which could be withdrawn at any time. There are more gold coins. Lin Moyu found that there were more gold coins. Before, he had about 1 billion gold coins. After selling all the equipment this time, he could exchange for less than 8 billion gold coins. But now, he has exchanged for a full 9 billion gold coins, and his net worth has become 10 billion. Then he found that the prices of goods in the exchange had become cheaper. The prices of goods for others had not changed, only he had a discount price. All items were discounted by 20%. Lin Moyu immediately understood that this should be the discount that the exchange gave him. Needless to say, the boss behind the exchange was the royal family. This matter was done by the royal family. The royal family was showing goodwill to him. Although they have not come to apologize, this matter has been handled well. Lin Moyu smiled slightly and began to buy items. This time he came to buy intermediate skill scrolls. The price in the exchange was 10 million gold coins per piece, and after the discount, it was 8 million gold coins per piece. As for the shining intermediate skill scrolls, there was no place to sell them at all. Although the price was about 10 times that of intermediate skill scrolls, there was no market for them, and you could not buy them even if you had money. There was no way, this thing was produced too little. Lin Mo Yu now had 4 shining intermediate skill scrolls, which could not be used casually. At least they could not be used at level 50, so he could only make up for it with quantity. Having the experience of awakening skills at level 30, Lin Mo Yu did not even think about it and directly bought them in a big way. 06. 500 Intermediate Skill Scrolls. Chapter 424. You need to respect Divine General Lin more in the future. Buying 500 skill scrolls at once, and intermediate skill scrolls at that. A truly grand gesture. Once again, the person in charge of the exchange system was greatly shocked. Lin Moy had just sold equipment worth 9 billion, and immediately bought intermediate skill scrolls worth 4 billion. The manager muttered in a daze, if there hadn't been a discount, we could have earned another 1 billion. 1 billion is not a small amount, for many people, it's an astronomical figure. It was an order from above that directly reduced their earnings by 1 billion. Just a few seconds after he was stunned, he suddenly saw another transaction appear. 500. Another 4 billion gold coins. Lin Moy bought 500 intermediate skill scrolls, and then thought it might not be enough, so he bought another 500. For him, money is not a problem. He can just run a few more dungeons, and the money will come from selling the equipment. After all, he always solos dungeons, and he gets to take all the equipment for himself, without having to share it with others. In the end, it's because money comes too easily. A full 1000 intermediate skill scrolls bought up most of the intermediate skill scrolls in the exchange. 1000 should be enough, right? He figured it was about right. If it really wasn't enough, there were still the flashing intermediate skill scrolls. Back at the White God's courtyard, Lin Moy sensed the presence of outsiders before he even entered. Someone had come to the White God's courtyard. The aura was a bit familiar, and Lin Moy smiled, so they're here to give gifts. Walking into the courtyard, Lin Moy saw Dongfang Yi and Dongfang Yao. When Dongfang Yao saw Lin Moy, a trace of apology flashed in her eyes. It was unclear whether she was apologizing for getting trapped in the corpse-rot realm, or for making unreasonable requests last time. Lin Moy wasn't petty enough to hold grudges, some things were in the past. When Dongfang Yi saw Lin Moy, he smiled and greeted Lin Moy, Divine General Lin, you're back. His attitude was quite polite. As the Lord of the Nation and a divine-level expert, he originally didn't need to treat Lin Moy like this. But for various reasons, he was very polite to Lin Moy. He knew very well that as long as Lin Moy didn't die, he would definitely surpass him in the near future. The identity of the Lord of the Nation and a divine-level expert were not enough in front of Lin Moy. As the Lord of a Nation, he had this much foresight. Dongfang Yi was polite, and Lin Moy naturally responded politely, greetings, Lord Dongfang, Princess Yao. Greetings, Divine General Lin. Dongfang Yao addressed Lin Moy as Divine General Lin, to show respect. Then Dongfang Yi's eyes suddenly narrowed, and his voice trembled slightly, Divine General Lin, you've become a 2-star Divine General. Lin Moy nodded, As he spoke, Lin Moy had already passed Dongfang Yi and came to Bai Yiyuan's side, saying no more. Lin Moy was very clear about the two people's intentions. He would let Bai Yiyuan make the decisions on this matter, it was better for him not to speak. Bai Yiyuan was skilled at extortion. He just didn't know if Dongfang Yi and Dongfang Yao had just arrived, or if they had already been extorted. At this time, Bai Yiyuan said, Lord Dongfang, I have received your kindness. Your previous actions were unintentional mistakes, so there's no need to mention them again in the future. Hearing this, Dongfang Yi breathed a sigh of relief. This matter was considered to be over. Lin Moy also understood that the extortion had been completed. The two exchanged a few more polite remarks before leaving the White God's courtyard. During this time, Dongfang Yi's attitude towards Lin Moy was extremely polite. He even specifically greeted Lin Moy before leaving. After teleporting back to the palace, Dongfang Yao didn't understand, Father, why has your attitude towards Lin Moy suddenly become so polite? Although he was polite before, it wasn't to the point it was now. It even made Dongfang Yao feel that her father was trying to please Lin Moy. Dongfang Yi coughed lightly, he's become a 2-star Divine General. Dongfang Yao didn't understand, wasn't he already a Divine General? What's so different about a 2-star Divine General? Dongfang Yi said, of course it's different. As long as you have enough military merit, you can become a Divine General. There's not much difference between a starless divine general and a 1-star divine general. You can reach that level if you kill enough enemies. But 2-star is different. To become a 2-star, you have to kill a demon king. In other words, at least one demon king has died at the hands of divine general Lin. I heard before that the flame demon king went into a dungeon to hunt down divine general Lin, but was counter-killed. But I never dared to believe it. How could someone below level 50 kill a demon king? Today, I'm finally sure that it's true. The soldier's badge doesn't lie. Dongfang Yao asked strangely, couldn't it be that God Bai and beat the demon king half to death, and then he came to finish it off? Dongfang Yi chuckled, then you don't understand the soldier's badge at all. Doing that is useless. In short, you must be more respectful when you see him in the future. His future achievements will far exceed imagination. Inside the White God's courtyard, Bai Yiyuan was grinning so wide that he couldn't close his mouth. Lin Moi didn't know how many good things he had extorted, but it was probably a lot. Meng Anwen said, look at how much you're smiling, you're drooling. Bai Yiyuan smiled brilliantly, the royal family is really rich, much richer than me. I've been collecting materials for most of my life, but they compensated more than all of it at once. To make Bai Yiyuan so distraught, Lin Moi was even more curious about what Dongfang Yi had brought. Bai Yiyuan said, Little Moi, do you want to go to the corpse-rot realm again? Lin Moi immediately had 3 black lines on his forehead. His teacher seemed to be crazy. Meng Anwen sighed, don't mind him, this guy is crazy. This time, Dongfang Yi was sincere and brought a lot of good things. Let's just say, your consumption during your second job change has been fully replenished. There are also enough materials for your third job change. Moreover, there are some things you can use right now. Lin Moi knew that Bai Yiyuan had almost emptied his family's wealth for his second job change. Asking for fresh flowers 0 Don't look at him as a divine level expert, his family wealth is actually not that abundant. He definitely couldn't compare to a 1,000-year-old family like the royal family. It was normal that they could casually take out more than Bai Yiyuan. Meng Anwen couldn't bear it anymore and shot a beam of light from his fingertip, blasting Bai Yiyuan away. Bai Yiyuan was immediately knocked away, flying hundreds of meters. After Bai Yiyuan flew back, he finally returned to normal. He didn't blame Meng Anwen for attacking him, his old face was still a bit embarrassed. He took out 2 boxes and threw them to Lin Moi. Other things are not very useful to you, these are for you to use. Lin Moi took the boxes and opened them. The first one was neatly filled with scrolls. 07, 10 shining intermediate skill scrolls. Exactly what I needed. With these 10 intermediate skill scrolls, I'll have 14 shining intermediate skill scrolls, which is more than enough. Then, he opened another box. The moment it opened, a ray of light shot out from within. Inside was a skill scroll, a shining advanced skill scroll. Advanced skill scrolls are already very expensive, costing 100 million in the exchange. As for shining advanced skill scrolls, they are priceless. Lin Moyu has only one until now. Now he has a second one. Bai Yiyuan said, 10 intermediate, 1 advanced. Shining advanced skill scrolls are not easy to obtain. Even the royal family probably doesn't have many in stock. Use it when you're level 80. Lin Moyu understood Bai Yiyuan's meaning. When he undergoes his third job change at level 70, he should try to complete the job sublimation. That way, the level 70 skill can be automatically mastered, and there's no need to waste an advanced skill scroll. Becoming a god at level 90 also doesn't require skill scrolls. It's only needed at level 80. Lin Moyu put away the box. Teacher, I bought some intermediate skill scrolls in the exchange. I'll keep the shining scrolls as spares, just in case. Bai Yiyuan nodded. That's what I meant too. You're level 50 now, so use ordinary skill scrolls. Use the shining scrolls when you're level 60. 14 shining scrolls are enough for you, you won't have that many skills. By the way, how many intermediate skill scrolls did you buy? Do you have enough money? If not, your teacher has some. Lin Moyu said, 1,000. PFF'd. Bai Yiyuan almost spat out his tea. Where did you get so much money? 1,000 scrolls, which would cost 10 billion without a discount. Lin Moyu said, I sold all the equipment I got from the dungeon, and then I had it. The exchange gave me a discount, an 80% discount. After all, it's normal to get more from solo runs. Bai Yiyuan said, First, restore your energy, spirit, and essence to their best state, then you can use the skill scrolls. 1000 scrolls should be enough. Chapter 425. Skill Fusion, Lightning Undead Wings. The commotion when activating an intermediate skill scroll is much bigger than that of a low-level skill scroll. Most of the Bai Shen small courtyard was shrouded in a hazy light. Lin Moyu had experience using skill scrolls, so he directly activated 10 scrolls. 10,000 stars rotated and whistled around him, bringing up gusts of breeze, and also accompanied by the unique aura of skill scrolls. The materials used to create intermediate skill scrolls are much more precious than those for primary scrolls. The aura that permeates is also much stronger. This kind of aura is easy to be fascinated by and indulge in. The power contained in the skill scroll entered his body, and Lin Moyu felt that something deep inside him seemed to be activated. But it didn't seem to be strong enough, and eventually returned to silence. The first batch of 10 skill scrolls did not awaken new skills, but Lin Moyu felt some differences. This was a feeling he had never had before. Without hesitation, he activated 10 more skill scrolls. The hazy light lit up again, and the skill scrolls exploded into 10,000 stars, constantly rotating around Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu once again sensed deep within his body, as if something was being hooked. The feeling was clearer than last time, but it still seemed to be a little short. While this feeling had not yet faded, Lin Moyu immediately activated 10 more scrolls. The power of the scrolls was strengthened again, and this time the feeling was even clearer. Lin Moyu had already felt the power in his body that was ready to move. Activate the scroll again. Activating the scrolls 5 times in a row, Lin Moyu kept calculating and sensing. He was no longer as ignorant as he was at level 30. Seemed to understand something. Bai Yuan looked a little strange. What is Xiao Yu doing? Meng and Wen whispered. Xiao Yu seems to have sensed the skills in his body. Hiss. Bai Yuan gasped, with an unbelievable expression on his face. This is impossible. Meng and Wen whispered. Naturally impossible for you, but for Xiao Yu, it's hard to say. Bai Yuan still couldn't believe it. Sensing the source of skills, that's something that can only be done after level 80. Meng and Wen shook his head and said nothing. At this moment, he couldn't understand it either. Although his instincts told him it was impossible, the matter before him was clearly happening. Lin Moyu didn't know how exaggerated and shocking what he was doing was. Even Meng and Wen, who had always been knowledgeable, was shocked by him at this moment. After activating it 5 times in a row, a total of 50 skill scrolls, Lin Moyu felt that the thing deep in his body was becoming more and more active. Only a step away from completely awakening. After calculating in his heart, Lin Moyu took out 15 skill scrolls. It should be enough. Thinking in his heart, his mental power rushed out to activate them. As the power of the skill scrolls entered his body, the thing he sensed completely awakened and rushed out of his body. Lin Moyu's body trembled slightly, and that thing rushed out from an unknown location, instantly filling his body, and finally entered his spiritual world, leaving an imprint on his soul. Acquired skill, Undead Wings. Undead Wings Level 1 grants yourself and your summons the ability to fly for 1 second. The higher the skill level, the faster the flying speed and the shorter the cooldown time. Cooldown time is 1 hour. At the moment when the prompt sounded, Lin Moyu completely understood what he was sensing. That was a skill. He sensed a skill. His whole body was shaking, and the expression on his face told the world how unbelievable this was. Skills can actually be sensed. He didn't even carefully check the skill attributes, and wanted to ask Bai Yuan and Meng and Wen as soon as possible what was going on. Before he could speak, a voice suddenly sounded in his mind again. Detected that the host has awakened undead wings, which can be fused with the lightning wings skill. The system is optimizing the fusion skills for the host. The system appeared again and began to fuse skills. Lin Moyu was overjoyed. The skills fused by the system would definitely be stronger. He checked the newly awakened undead wings, which could allow himself and his summons to have the ability to fly at the same time. This skill was very powerful, and it was also the skill he had dreamed of. Summons now have the ability to fly. In that way, he could conduct aerial combat, deal with those flying monsters, or demon dragon races, and there would be no more shortcomings. No need to bother to trick them down like before. The combat mode will undergo tremendous changes and become more flexible. Can be used for 1 second, with a cooldown time of 1 hour. What can you do in 1 second? Oh wait. However, Lin Moyu knew that the skills he awakened could receive talent bonuses. That 1 second should be able to turn into 60 seconds. After reaching level 50, most of his skills were upgraded accordingly, and the comprehensive amplification talent also changed from 50 times to 60 times. But a 1-hour cooldown time is too long, greatly reducing its practicality. Moreover, this skill would be very difficult to train. Being able to use it only once an hour, or 24 times a day, it would really take forever to level up. Now Lin Moyu could only place his hopes on the new skill after system fusion. His excited heart gradually calmed down. Having a flying skill is always a good thing, even if it takes more leveling, there will always be a time to level it up. Lin Moyu comforted himself while waiting. In the eyes of Meng and Wen and Bai Yi Yuan, when Lin Moyu activated 15 skill scrolls earlier, Meng and Wen had already confirmed his guess. Lin Moyu did sense the skill, but whether he sensed the origin of the skill was not completely certain. But at least, he had taken a crucial step. This step was very important for whether he could transform into a god. Meng and Wen and Bai Yi Yuan exchanged glances, both with joy in their eyes. A moment later, the system's voice sounded in his mind again. Skill fusion complete. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the skill, Lightning Undead Wings. Lightning Undead Wings Level 1 grants the user and their summons the ability to fly for 10 seconds, with a cooldown time of 10 minutes. The higher the skill level, the faster the flight speed and the shorter the cooldown time. Lin Moyu clenched his fist, forcibly suppressing the excitement in his heart. The duration of 10 seconds had increased tenfold compared to before fusion. Moreover, it could also enjoy talent bonuses, granting 10 minutes of flight time each time. The cooldown time had changed from 60 minutes to 10 minutes, which was equivalent to having no cooldown time. For him, he already possessed the ability to engage in long-term aerial combat. The shortcoming of not being able to fly was finally made up for. Now, as long as his level could be raised, he could increase his flight speed. As for whether the cooldown time would be shortened, it was no longer important. Lin Moyu opened his eyes, intending to tell Meng and Wen and Bai Yi Yuan the good news. Suddenly, he saw Bai Yi Yuan staring at him strangely. Not only Bai Yi Yuan, but Meng and Wen's eyes also revealed a strange expression. Lin Moyu felt a little creeped out and asked strangely, "Teacher, what's wrong?" Bai Yi Yuan squinted his eyes and put on a strange smile. "Xiao Yu, did you have any special feeling when you awakened your skill just now?" Special feeling? Lin Moyu thought for a moment. After I activated the skill scroll, it felt like something in my body was being stirred, like it wanted to jump out. 2.9 inches. Later, I kept activating the scrolls, and that feeling became more and more obvious until the skill was completely activated. Bai Yi Yuan continued to ask, "What about when the skill was activated? What did it feel like?" Lin Moyu recalled his feelings at the time and answered truthfully, "When the skill was activated, that feeling flowed throughout my body and finally entered my spiritual world." Bai Yi Yuan pressed on, "Can you sense the origin of that thing?" Origin? Lin Moyu shook his head after thinking. He was unable to sense the origin. The previous feeling was a very general sensation, and now, in retrospect, it seemed somewhat illusory. Lin Moyu even wondered if the previous feeling was a misperception. Meng and Wen said, "Don't rush, continue to awaken skills. If that feeling reappears, try to grab it and find the origin." Bai Yi Yuan also said, "Yes, don't worry, try to find the origin." Hearing Meng and Wen's words, Lin Moyu realized that this matter seemed very important. He activated the skill scroll again, and 10,000 starlight enveloped him once more. Chapter 426. Summoning Elemental Lich, Bone Prison. Amidst the 10,000 starlight, that feeling reappeared. But it was much weaker than last time. Lin Moyu realized that 10 intermediate skill scrolls were not enough. As more and more skills were awakened, the consumption of skill scrolls would also increase. From needing only 1 or 2 basic scrolls to awaken and master a new skill at level 10. To just now, when it took a full 65 intermediate skill scrolls to awaken and master a new skill. The effect of intermediate skill scrolls was more than 10 times stronger than that of basic scrolls. 65 intermediate scrolls, whether in terms of effect or value, would not be lower than 650 basic scrolls. Of course, Lin Moyu also knew that he couldn't compare it that way, he was just making a rough comparison. This time, the requirements were clearly higher. That feeling only appeared for a moment, and as the effect of the skill scroll disappeared, the feeling also weakened. Lin Moyu immediately activated another 15 scrolls to retain this feeling. But 15 scrolls were far from enough. That feeling only strengthened a little before being digested again. Without thinking, Lin Moyu directly activated 30 intermediate scrolls, doubling the amount. This time, that feeling became significantly clearer. Following Meng and Wen's words, Lin Moyu grasped the feeling and sought the origin. 28. This was a process of tracing back to the source, which was easier said than done. That feeling was too illusory and mysterious. In general, it seemed like there was an origin. But upon closer inspection, it seemed to come from every corner of his body. Lin Moyu did not give up and tried to sense it. To maintain this feeling, he kept activating skill scrolls. 30 at a time, batch after batch. Skill scrolls kept burning, and the mysterious power within the scrolls continuously entered his body. Lin Moyu's feeling also became clearer. Gradually, there was finally a bit of a clue. It seemed like he saw something. Immediately afterward, a vast power surged, flowing through his entire body, quickly merging into his spiritual world and entering his soul. The 10,000 starlight that exploded from the skill scrolls soared into the sky, turning into a pillar of light that shot straight into the sky, scattering the clouds. Meng and Wen and Bai Yuan were both clear that Lin Moyu had mastered a new skill. Moreover, this new skill should be unusual. The previous skill did not have this phenomenon. Lin Moyu saw a scene. It was still the undead mage wearing a robe. It was still the dark earth, and the overwhelming undead army. The war seemed to continue forever. The undead mage pointed his finger, and a summon shrouded in flames appeared beside him. The moment the summon appeared, flames soared into the sky, and Lin Moyu couldn't see its appearance clearly. The moment it appeared, the enemies on the battlefield simultaneously burst into flames and were burned to ashes. Each and every one of them screamed, even the dragons were no exception, screaming and falling from the sky. The next second, the picture shattered. Obtain skill. Summon Elemental Lich. 09. A Summon Elemental Lich Level 1. Utilize items of different elements to summon corresponding elemental liches. The higher the item level, the stronger the lich's attributes. Only one lich of the same type can exist simultaneously. The higher the skill level, the more liches can exist simultaneously. With the appearance of this skill, Lin Moyu discovered that his attributes now included a lich space. Currently, the lich space shows 0/1, indicating that the level 1 skill only allows for one lich to exist. This is a completely new and unfamiliar skill. However, from the scene he just saw, it's clear that this skill is very strong, extremely strong. Opening his eyes, he once again saw Bai Yuan's expectant gaze. "Xiao Yu, how is it?" Not only was his gaze expectant, but so was his tone. Lin Moyu shook his head, still couldn't grasp it. "I'll try again." Saying that, Lin Moyu activated another batch of skill scrolls. He used 65 in the first round and 175 in the second, totaling 240 scrolls. He had used nearly a quarter of his prepared stock. This time, Lin Moyu directly activated 50 scrolls. Enveloped in a myriad of starlight, that feeling appeared once again. Perhaps because he used more skill scrolls, the feeling was very clear. Having had the experience twice before, Lin Moyu immediately grasped it as soon as it appeared, and began searching for its source. The magical feeling was still the same as before, quickly spreading throughout his body as soon as it appeared. Lin Moyu already understood that this feeling was, in essence, a skill. Skills were originally hidden deep within somewhere, waiting until the level was sufficient, and then activated and awakened for various reasons. Now he had to find the source of the skill. Having had 2 experiences, he thoroughly understood what he needed to do. However, it was easier said than done, and it was very difficult to achieve. In order to prevent this feeling from disappearing, and for the skill to be activated smoothly, Lin Moyu used intermediate skill scrolls in batches, without any heartache. Meng and Wen and Bai Yuan watched, their eyes filled with astonishment. Bai Yuan said, "Although it's said that the stronger the profession, the stronger the skill, the more difficult it is to awaken and master. But Xiao Yu's consumption of skill scrolls is really too high." Meng and Wen hummed in agreement. "It is indeed a bit high. Even a mid-level legendary class professional would only use up to 300 skill scrolls at level 50. Bai Yuan said, "Earth Knights might use a bit more, but it wouldn't exceed 500. But Xiao Yu." Lin Moyu had already used more than 500 by now. He had already awakened 2 skills, and awakening the third skill was becoming extremely difficult. Skill scrolls were constantly being activated and erupting, batch after batch. In the blink of an eye, all 1,000 skill scrolls were about to run out. Lin Moyu was also at the most critical juncture at this moment. The feeling of skill awakening was already very strong, just a step away. Because this time it lasted longer, Lin Moyu finally found a clue. He saw a dark world, with a point shining brightly in the world. Now all his feelings about skill awakening came from this point of light. Just as he saw the point of light, the point exploded with a bang. A strange feeling spread throughout his body, rushed into his spiritual world, and merged into his soul. The skill awakened, and at the moment the point of light exploded, Lin Moyu saw some unusual scenes. It shouldn't be said that he saw, but that he sensed. He sensed that near the point of light, there were some other peculiar points that were sleeping and waiting to awaken. These points varied in size and shape. They faintly emitted different auras. Lin Moyu understood that each point represented this skill. This was the source of the skill. But understanding was one thing, he didn't understand what use it was to know these things. Was all this effort just for a fleeting glimpse? At this time, the skill was completely awakened and imprinted into his soul. A gained skill. Bone Prison. A bone prison, level 1727, restricts a target or multiple enemies, causing a paralysis effect. The restricted enemies cannot move or counterattack, and take 50% less damage. The restriction lasts for 1 second, will vary depending on the enemy's level and attributes, and also depending on the number of enemies restricted. A control type skill. It's a bone type control skill. Lin Moyu was overjoyed when he saw the skill, he finally had a control skill. Even if the control time was only 1 second, he had a talent bonus. 1 second would become 60 seconds. And as the skill level increased, this time would inevitably increase. Lin Moyu found that his profession was becoming more and more perfect. Even without the talent bonus, the attack power would certainly be much weaker, but the perfection would not change. Even without the talent bonus, the combat power of the Undead Legion would be greatly reduced, but the number would not change. Among the same level, he would still be invincible. His profession skills were a combination of summoning, attack, curse, control, and immunity. Which profession could compare? The Undead Legion had self-assistance, and also needed to rely on other assistants. It was simply a perfect profession. When Lin Moyu opened his eyes again, he once again saw Bai Yuan staring at him. Bai Yuan said softly, "Xiao Yu, it doesn't matter if you can't find it, your level is still low, and there are plenty of opportunities ahead." Meng and Wen nodded, "It's fine if you can find it around level 80, there's no rush." Lin Moyu knew that the two were comforting him, but Lin Moyu opened his mouth, "Teacher, I seem to have found it." Ah, Bai Yuan was about to continue comforting him, when he suddenly heard Lin Moyu's words, and his words of comfort immediately turned into a strange cry. Chapter 427. It's best not to say too much, it's more harm than good. Bai Yuan's voice was filled with shock. "You really found it?" "I'm not sure if I did." Lin Moyu thought that the scene he saw seemed unreal. He even wondered if it was an illusion. Meng and Wen asked, "Tell me, what did you see?" Lin Moyu carefully recalled, "A dark space, I saw a point of light, and when the point of light exploded, I saw some other points. I felt like each point represented a skill, and they were still sleeping. I can't explain the specifics." Meng and Wen knew that Lin Moyu had most likely found it. This feeling was right, he had the same ethereal feeling back then. Moreover, he was already over level 80 when he found the source of his skill. Lin Moyu was only level 50 now, and he had plenty of time and opportunities. Meng and Wen said, "It should be right, what do you think that space looked like?" What did it look like? Lin Moyu tried hard to recall his feelings at the time. After thinking for a long time, he said somewhat uncertainly, "It seemed like a starry sky, each point was like a silent, extinguished star." 10. Meng Anwen and Bai Yuan both looked surprised. Lin Moyu asked, "Teacher, is something wrong?" Meng Anwen shook his head, "Nothing is wrong, everyone sees things differently. You don't need to worry about these things, what you need to do is firmly remember this feeling. When you reach level 60, 70, or 80, every time you awaken a skill, it's an opportunity. You need to repeatedly experience this feeling, go to that space that belongs only to you, take a good look, and understand it well. On this point, no one can help you, you can only rely on yourself to comprehend. Lin Moyu asked, "Teacher, is there any particular attention to doing this?" Bai Yiyuan wanted to say something, but Meng Anwen stopped him with a look. Meng Anwen said, "That's all I can tell you, the more you know, the more harmful it will be to you. You need to know that everyone is different, even within the same profession. Other people's experiences are useless to you, you can only rely on yourself." Meng Anwen repeated once again, "Rely only on yourself." Lin Moyu remembered it firmly. He knew that it wasn't that Meng Anwen was unwilling to tell him, but that he really couldn't tell him. Perhaps saying too much would really be harmful rather than helpful. He seemed to have stepped into a magical realm that could not be spoken of or described. Unlike others, who use skill scrolls and either awaken or don't awaken, without knowing anything. He, on the other hand, began to pursue the root of the skill. The two were already at different levels. Lin Moyu didn't ask any more questions, I remember. Bai Yiyuan leaned over and asked, "How was it? What skills did you awaken?" Lin Moyu said, "I awakened 3 skills, Lightning Undead Wings, Summon Elemental Lich, and Bone Prison. They are respectively Flight type, Summon type, and Control type." He explained the effects of the 3 skills. Bai Yiyuan clicked his tongue twice. "Goodness, your profession is becoming more and more comprehensive." Lin Moyu's profession was indeed developing in a comprehensive direction. The core summoning skills were increasing, and at the same time, flight type and control type skills were also added. Although everyone can master the ability to fly after level 70. Whether or not you have a flight skill is still different. Professions with flight skills far surpass those without flight skills in terms of speed and flexibility. Meng Anwen said, "Try using a flash scroll, and see if there are any omissions." Awakening and mastering 3 new skills at level 50 is normal. But just in case, it is still necessary to check. Now, the 1000 intermediate skill scrolls that Lin Moyu brought are only a few dozen left, not enough to continue using. I can only try with flash scrolls. Fortunately, Dongfang Yi had just sent 10, plus the 4 that Lin Moyu already had. 14 flash scrolls, wasting one would not be too painful. Lin Moyu also didn't want any omissions, and immediately used a flash scroll. The flash scroll exploded with starlight, colorful and beautiful. Much more beautiful than ordinary skill scrolls. Lin Moyu clearly felt a large amount of mysterious power pouring into his body from the flash scroll, seemingly trying to stir up something within his body. Its effect is more than 100 times stronger than ordinary skill scrolls. Lin Moyu suddenly understood why flash skill scrolls can awaken skills 100% of the time. Mainly because the mysterious power it contains is too strong. At this time, Lin Moyu had a feeling of knowing not only what it is, but also why it is. If he still had skills that had not been mastered, they would definitely be stirred up, creating a different feeling. But this time, there was no feeling at all. Lin Moyu confirmed that all of his skills at level 50 had been awakened and there were no omissions. Meng Anwen said, "It's good that there are no omissions. Are you planning to go to the primordial battlefield?" Lin Moyu said, "I plan to cultivate my skills first, and then go to the primordial battlefield." Among the 3 new skills, except for the Lightning Undead Wings, which are more troublesome to cultivate and require a lot of time, Lin Moyu is confident that he can cultivate the other 2 skills to perfection in a short time. "Okay, I'll help you find a teleportation point these few days." The most convenient way to go to the primordial battlefield is still to have Meng Anwen send him over using the Divine Summer Tower. Otherwise, a lot of transfers would be required, which would be more troublesome. "Thank you, teacher, then I'll go and cultivate my skills first." Leaving the White God's courtyard, Lin Moyu didn't want to waste any time and went directly to the exchange. Cultivating the Summon Elemental Lich requires consuming materials with various elemental attributes. The materials don't need to be very good when cultivating. Only after the skill is shaped, a high-level material is needed to summon the Elemental Lich. Once the Elemental Lich is summoned, it will continue to exist unless it dies. Unless Lin Moyu summons a new Lich of the same element, or actively cancels the summon. Liches of different elements can coexist, and only one Lich of the same element can exist at the same time. Lin Moyu began to sweep through materials with attributes in the exchange. Because he was just cultivating skills, Lin Moyu was sweeping up low-end materials from level 10 or so. As long as the price was cheap enough, and they had attributes. Now he still had 2 billion gold coins, more than enough to buy these low-end materials. Flame flowers with fire attributes can be bought for only 100 gold coins each. Azure ice with water attributes is also less than 200 gold coins. Low-end materials are not expensive. Just in case, Lin Moyu immediately experimented after buying a flame flower. After confirming that he could use it to summon a fire elemental lich, he was relieved to buy. The low-end attribute materials in the exchange were almost swept away by Lin Moyu. Spending nearly 300 million, buying 100,000 of each. Calculating that it should be enough, Lin Moyu came to the dungeon hall contentedly. Still choosing the Beast God Highlands dungeon. The environment here is relatively open, and the temperature is pleasant, the air is clear, and it is comfortable to practice skills. The most important point is that Lin Moyu is lazy, too lazy to pick unknown dungeons. Taking advantage of the fact that he just reached level 50 and can still enter, he chose here. Skill: Lightning Undead Wings. With a soft crackling sound, a pair of wings suddenly appeared behind Lin Moyu. The wings stretched out to more than 3 meters in length, woven from bones, and were pure white. Electricity jumped on the bones, making a crackling sound. The next second, Lin Moyu turned into a streak of lightning and shot straight into the sky. The flight speed was extremely fast, leaving a long streak of lightning in the air. Lin Moyu calculated the speed, about 500 meters per second, much slower than the previous lightning wings. But now the skill is only level 1, as long as the skill level increases, the speed will increase. Lin Moyu descended from the air and put away the skill. 11. Although flight time can achieve seamless connection, allowing for long-duration flight. However, if you want to further improve speed, you need to increase the skill level. Skill cultivation is very slow, once every 10 minutes, and can only be filled with time. Then Lin Moyu took out a pile of materials and placed them in front of him. Start to cultivate the Summon Elemental Lich skill. As the skill was activated, a ball of white flame appeared in the palm of his hand. A lich, only the size of a fist, jumped out of the flame and flew in front of Lin Moyu. The lich could fly, which was unexpected. The small lich doesn't look terrifying, but rather a bit cute. Flying slowly around Lin Moyu. At level 1, you can't see any attributes, and Lin Moyu didn't plan to look at it, but level it up first. The next second, another flame lich jumped out, and the previous one suddenly turned into a ball of fire and disappeared without a trace. Only one lich of the same element can exist at the same time. This is a skill limitation, and Lin Moyu can't change it. Constantly summoning liches, while also cultivating the lightning undead wings that can only be used once every 10 minutes. Chapter 428. Undead Legion covered with auras. Elemental liches are constantly summoned and replaced. The large amount of materials prepared by Lin Moyu is rapidly decreasing. As the level increases, the aura of the elemental lich becomes more and more powerful. But the appearance has not changed at all, it is still only the size of a fist, cute and silly. Lin Moyu didn't know whether to laugh or cry, he was a dignified undead monarch, a necromantic summoner. Whether it is a skeleton or a lich general, the appearance is terrifying. How could such a little guy come out? Although it still has the appearance of a lich, like a deflated ball wrapped in bones. But it's too small, and covered in flames, it is indeed a bit cute. It's different from what I saw when I awakened the skill before. Lin Moyu looked at the flame lich spinning in front of him, supporting his chin. The difference is too big. It is impossible to imagine that the flame lich seen during the skill awakening would be the same as the flame lich in front of him. Could it be related to the skill level and the materials used? After thinking for a while, I felt that this was very possible. The different materials used for summoning will affect the combat power of the elemental lich. Will it also affect the appearance? Lin Moyu decided to put this aside for now and improve the skill level first. Using it again and again, summoning it again and again. When the fire element materials were about to run out, the skill was finally raised to level 10. With a soft buzz, the elemental lich summoned after level 10 changed. A halo appeared at its feet. Lin Moyu was slightly taken aback, this halo looks a bit familiar. Except for the slightly whitish color, 727 is similar to the Holy Fire Halo of the Holy Light Knight. With curiosity, I checked the attributes of the halo. Witchfire Halo. Bless all Undead Legion members with the Witchfire Halo, causing fire damage to all enemies within a 100-meter range. The damage depends on the skill level and the lich's attributes. Lin Moyu glanced at it, this halo works on every member of the Undead Legion. The largest range is also centered on where the undead legion is standing. That range is too large, the flame lich doesn't even need to move, and the halo can cover the entire battlefield. Doesn't this become a holy light knight? Lin Moi was even more dumbfounded. He didn't expect that his skill would have the halo effect of a holy light knight. Who would believe it if he said it? Looking at the flame lich's pair of small eyes were also looking at Lin Moi. It was clearly empty eyes, but Lin Moi felt a trace of strangeness. The atmosphere became a little weird. Lin Moi couldn't help but mutter to himself, wouldn't elemental liches of other attributes also have halos? Take out some elemental materials with wind attributes. The skill was used, and the elemental materials disappeared immediately, and then a breeze blew. A wind element lich surrounded by wind elements appeared in front of him. Storm lich, the same size as the flame lich, with a hint of cuteness. There is also a halo under his feet, a cyan halo. Witch wind halo. Bless all undead legion members with the witch wind halo, greatly increasing the speed of the undead legion. The effect depends on the skill level and the lich's attributes. A second halo appeared under the feet of the skeletons and lich generals at the same time. The witch fire halo and the witch wind halo do not conflict with each other. Lin Moi understood, there really is a halo. Leaving aside the combat power of the elemental lich itself, these halos alone are enough to make them a powerful assistant. After knowing the powerful effect of the elemental lich, Lin Moi worked even harder to continuously use skills for cultivation. The skill level is rapidly increasing. Compared with the summon elemental lich skill, the skill improvement of the lightning undead wings can be described as slow as a snail. It can only be used once every 15 minutes, and it takes a lot of time to upgrade one level. Lin Moi doesn't need to consider the consumption of mental power, so the cultivation of elemental liches is very fast. At first, it could be upgraded by one level every hour. It only slowed down after level 20. Then it slowed down again after reaching level 40. Since this is the case, after 5 days, Lin Moi worked hard day and night to cultivate the summon elemental lich skill to level 50, entering a perfect state. Then it will be easy, as his level increases, the skill will also be upgraded together. Lin Moi breathed a long sigh of relief. After 5 days of hard work, Summon Elemental Lich was upgraded to level 50. Lightning Undead Wings has also been upgraded to level 2. Flight time increased by 10 seconds, doubling. The cooldown time has been reduced by 1 minute, becoming 9 minutes to use once. The speed of the level 2 Lightning Undead Wings has been improved, from 500 meters per second to 600 meters per second. And the reduction of the cooldown time makes its cultivation speed further accelerated. Lin Moi believes that as long as he works hard to upgrade a few levels, the cultivation will become faster and faster. Now the problem facing Lin Moi is what materials to choose to summon elemental liches. The quality of the materials determines the strength of the elemental lich. It's not interesting to use two poor ones. Lin Moi can't get those legendary materials either. After thinking for a long time, Lin Moi silently took out the elemental crystals. One each of fire crystal, earth crystal, light crystal, clear water crystal, whirlwind crystal, and lightning crystal. Crystals are items after level 40, and their level is equivalent to platinum level weapons. Apart from divine stones, this is already the best elemental item that Lin Moi can get out. Having made a decision in his heart, he will use them. Holding the fire enchantment in his hand. 12. Skill. Summon Elemental Lich. A soaring pillar of fire erupted from Lin Mo's body. Standing in the center of the flames, Lin Mo didn't feel the heat at all, only a slight warmth. The flames didn't cause him any damage. The flame crystal shattered, and a flame lich appeared before Lin Mo. Compared to the flame liches summoned with low-level materials, this flame lich was significantly larger. It had grown from the size of a fist to the size of an adult's head. Perhaps because the crystal was round, this flame lich also appeared somewhat rounded. It seemed to have thicker skin, be softer, and its bones were not as prominent. Why is it even cuter? Lin Mo felt it didn't fit his professional image at all. It was clearly an undead summon, yet it looked so adorable. Headache. With each use of the skill. Storm Lich, Ice Lich, Earth Lich, Lightning Lich, and Light Lich appeared one after another. Each lich stood on a halo of light. All 6 liches revolved around Lin Mo non-stop. Lin Mo checked the attributes of each lich, familiarizing himself with their skills. Platinum Grade Elemental Lich. Level 50. Strength 90,000. Agility 90,000. Spirit 90,000. Constitution. 90,000. The 6 liches had identical 4-dimensional attributes, with no differences. The only difference was that they possessed halos of different attributes. Flame Lich. Flame Aura. Imbues all members of the Undead Legion with a flame aura, dealing fire damage to all enemies within a 1,000-meter radius. Damage is determined by skill level and Lich attributes. Storm Lich. Storm Aura. Imbues all members of the Undead Legion with a storm aura, greatly increasing the speed of the Undead Legion. The effect depends on skill level and Lich attributes. Ice Lich. Frost Aura. Imbues all members of the Undead Legion with a frost aura, inflicting a freezing effect on all enemies within a 1,000-meter radius. The freezing effect depends on skill level and Lich attributes. Earth Lich. Earth Aura. Imbues all members of the Undead Legion with an earth aura, greatly increasing the defense of the Undead Legion. The effect depends on skill level and Lich attributes. Lightning Lich. Lightning Aura. Imbues all members of the Undead Legion with a lightning aura, dealing lightning damage to all enemies within a 1,000-meter radius, with a chance to create a paralysis effect. Damage is determined by skill level and Lich attributes. Light Lich. Holy Light Aura. Imbues all members of the Undead Legion with a Holy Light Aura, strengthening the Undead Legion's resistance to light elemental damage and increasing the Undead Legion's attack power against Dark-type monsters. The effect depends on skill level and Lich attributes. Looking at the properties of the auras as they appeared. 6 halos, some large and some small, neatly covered the feet of the Undead Legion. Colorful, illuminating the earth, it was quite a spectacle. The Undead Legion had transformed into a magnificent Holy Light Legion. Under all sorts of buffs, Lin Mo couldn't imagine how strong the Undead Legion had become. Before the enemy could even get close, they would be burned by fire, struck by lightning, and then affected by freezing effects. It would definitely drive people to despair. Lin Mo discovered that every 10 levels was a huge leap. Not only would the all-round amplification talent increase by 1 level. New skills were often game-changing. Strong, too strong. Chapter 429. Even I think it's a little perverted. After familiarizing himself with the 6 types of auras brought by the elemental liches, Lin Mo turned his attention to a monster in the distance. A malicious smile appeared on his face. You're next. It was a pack of wild wolves. In Highland 1, Highland wild wolves and Highland antelopes were the most common types of monsters. Both types of monsters lived in groups, with each group having as few as 4 or 5 and as many as 10 or more. The pack of wild wolves that Lin Mo had his eye on had exactly 8. His consciousness instantly locked onto the 8 wild wolves, and he raised his hand. Skill. Bone Prison. The 8 wild wolves were restrained by Bone Prison without any reaction. Their entire bodies stiffened, and a layer of finely woven bones appeared on the surface of their bodies. These bones tightly locked them in place like chains, and there were also some small barbs on the bones that pierced into their skin. Paralysis immediately took effect, and the wild wolves were unable to move. It was precisely because of the existence of these bones that their defense was greatly increased after being restrained, and the damage they took was reduced by a full 50%. The duration of level 1 Bone Prison was only 1 second, but because of the existence of the God-level talent all-round amplification, the restraint time was multiplied by a full 60 times, increasing to 60 seconds. At the same time, the duration was also affected by factors such as monster level, monster quantity, and monster attributes. How long it could actually last varied from monster to monster and could not be accurately determined. However, Lin Mo felt that the effect of a mere level 1 skill on these monsters exceeding level 2845 should be greatly reduced. As expected, the bones on the wild wolves disappeared simultaneously after only 3 seconds. The wild wolves broke free and pounced over with howls. However, before they could rush out 2 meters, another batch of bone prisons descended on them. After 3 seconds, the bone prisons disappeared again. But Lin Mo didn't give them a chance to rush over, and bone prisons descended again. After repeated experiments, Lin Mo already knew the effect of bone prison. The more monsters restrained at the same time, the shorter the restraint time. The higher the monster's level and the stronger its attributes, the shorter the restraint time would also be. Based on his current level 1 skill, after being enhanced by his talent, it had a 60-second restraint time. When restraining 1 wild wolf, it could be restrained for about 20 seconds. If he restrained 8 wild wolves at the same time, he could only restrain them for less than 3 seconds. Another point was that the consumption of spirit power for the bone prison skill was extremely large. For each additional monster restrained, the spirit power consumption would increase exponentially. A level 1 skill restraining one wild wolf required about 100 points of spirit power. If 8 wild wolves were restrained at the same time, it would consume 800 points of spirit power. If the skill level was increased, the consumption would further increase. Such a large consumption, if it were to be used by another magic type class. At level 50, they would have at most 40,000 spirit power. Restraining multiple targets at the same time, doing it a few times, and the spirit power would be almost completely depleted. Moreover, if it was used on multiple targets at the same time, the restraint time would be greatly shortened, and its practicality would be greatly reduced. But for Lin Mo had completely understood the key to this skill. The biggest difficulty in cultivating the bone prison skill was the excessive consumption of spirit power. 13. But he didn't care about mental exhaustion at all, so the biggest difficulty in cultivation didn't exist for him. He has now reached level 50, possessing 30 undead legions, each legion with 900 skeletons. A total of 27,000 skeletons share its mental energy consumption. It would be a miracle to be able to exhaust so much mental energy. Lin Mo began to unleash skills without restraint. The few wild wolves in front of him, used as experimental subjects, were completely tragic. The bone prison on their bodies was constantly refreshed, and they were always in a state of paralysis. Their whole bodies were stiff and unable to move, except for their eyeballs, they couldn't even make a sound. Later, Lin Mo even started using both hands at the same time. He could cast 4 or 5 skills every second. The skill levels rose rapidly like lightning, much faster than when he was cultivating Summon Elemental Lich. Lin Mo once again displayed his ruthless personality, and in less than 2 days, he cultivated Bone Prison to level 50. Bone Prison level 50 restrains one target or multiple enemies, causing paralysis. Enemies restrained cannot act or counterattack, damage received is reduced by 50%, restraint lasts for 50 seconds varies depending on enemy level, attributes, and number of enemies restrained. The level 50 Bone Prison's restraint time reached 50 seconds, and mental energy consumption reached a shocking 5,000 points. This is just the consumption of restraining one monster. If he restrained 8 monsters at the same time like Lin Mo, a level 50 magic class would probably have their entire mental energy drained with just one skill. Only Lin Mo could afford to use it. Of the 3 new skills obtained after level 50, only Lightning Undead Wings had not been leveled up. It takes 9 minutes to cast once, even if Lin Mo doesn't miss a single cast, it will take several days to level up, the leveling speed is very slow. However, Lin Mo didn't care about this. Because of the existence of the comprehensive amplification talent, the level 2 Lightning Undead Wings is already enough to fly for 20 minutes, with a cooldown time of only 9 minutes, which is enough for him and the Undead Legion to engage in air combat for a long time. With the skills fully cultivated, Lin Mo finally relaxed completely. He checked his level 50 attributes, a smile on his lips. His current attributes were so high that they were a little scary. If other professionals knew, they would only say one thing: freak. Name: Lin Mo. Class: Necromancer Lord Unique. Level: 51.00%. Strength: 74,735. Agility: 74,735. Spirit: 198,610. Constitution: 90,735. Special attributes: 50% reduction in physical damage, 50% reduction in poison damage, 50% reduction in fire damage, 50% reduction in water damage, 50% reduction in wind damage, 80% reduction in light damage, 80% reduction in electric damage, 50% increase in vitality. Equipment: none. Summon space: 900 900ths. Undead Legion: 30 30ths. Lich space: 6/6. Characteristic: Divinity Power, level 50. Talent: Comprehensive Amplification, level 6, Unique Comprehensive Connection, unique. Passive skills: Status Immunity, Damage Transfer, Elemental Resistance, level 1, Physical Resistance, level 1. Active skills: Soul Flame, Level 50 Corpse Explosion, Level 7 Bone Armor, Level 50 Bone Spikes, Level 50 Summon Skeleton Berserker, Level 50 Summon Skeleton Archmage, Level 50 Summon Skeleton Sharpshooter, Level 50 Summon Lich General, Level 50 Summon Elemental Lich, Level 50 Curse of Aging, Level 50 Curse of Poison, Level 50 Bone Prison, Level 50 Lightning Undead Wings, Level 3 Strong Soldier, Slaughter Domain unavailable. Total attributes have reached a staggering 430,000. This is much higher than even world bosses of the same level. As far as Lin Moyu knows, the total attributes of a level 50 medium legendary class are only between 120,000 and 130,000. Even with some lucky encounters, total attributes rarely exceed 150,000. He has reached 430,000, almost 3 times that of others. With these attributes, his strength surpasses warriors, his agility surpasses assassins, and his constitution surpasses knights. As for spiritual attributes, it goes without saying, it is several times that of other magic classes. In addition, there are a large number of damage immunity characteristics, elemental and physical resistance passive skills. There is also status immunity, damage transfer, and a large number of active attack skills, and a huge and powerful undead legion. Corpse Explosion has also reached level 7. Attack, control, curse, all kinds of skills are available. At this moment, Lin Moyu himself felt that he was a bit of a freak. He estimated that no one in human history has reached his level. Otherwise, it would have been impossible for him to kill the level 90 Flame Demon King when he was less than level 50, and be promoted to a 2-star God General. After checking the attribute changes of the skeletons, Lin Moyu clapped his hands. It's time to go to the eternal battlefield. P.S. I have put the protagonist level 50 attributes, skills, and the Undead Legion's attributes and skills in the work-related section. Those who are interested can take a look. I won't write it in the main text, so as not to say that I am inflating the word count. Because the word count is indeed a bit long, several thousand. Chapter 430 Revisit the Old Place, Meet the Violent Woman Again. It took a full 7 days to cultivate skills. When he returned to Bai Shen's small courtyard, Meng Anwen had already prepared the teleportation array to the eternal battlefield. Bai Yiyuan was not there, he went to the 8th fortress. Lin Moyu demonstrated the effect of the elemental lich to Meng Anwen. Meng Anwen marveled, I didn't expect there to be such a skill, which, to a certain extent, replaces the role of the Holy Light Knight. Your profession is becoming more and more comprehensive. Lin Moyu also had this feeling. The Lich General replaced the Legion Overlord with 3 skills. Now the Elemental Lich has replaced the Holy Light Knight. Lin Moyu's skills have completely formed their own system, without relying on any other profession. But in fact, this is indeed the case. Lin Moyu does not accept any auxiliary status at all, he can only rely on himself. Teacher, where can I get higher level elemental materials? To improve the elemental lich in addition to skill level, the most important thing is high quality and high level elemental materials. Meng Anwen said, there are quite a few. For example, in the lower and deeper spaces of the eternal battlefield there will be some special elemental materials. For example, the sky-burning red flower is a legendary fire element material. There is also the heavy water crystal, which is a legendary water element material. But these things are not easy to obtain. The more top quality the material, the more difficult it is to obtain. In addition to the eternal battlefield, Meng Anwen mentioned several other places where legendary elemental materials could be obtained, but all of them were very difficult to obtain. Even the cheapest one, in a dungeon within the Empire, only some bosses above level 80 have a very low probability of dropping them. Legendary materials are not easy to obtain, otherwise there would not be so few legendary equipment in the human race. From Meng Anwen's words, Lin Moyu could hear the difficulty. The lower space of the eternal battlefield belongs to the world of levels 70 to 89. Lin Moyu can't go there now, so he can only suppress the thoughts in his heart for the time being. Shen Sha Ta appeared, and Lin Moyu stepped into the teleportation array. 14. Meng Anwen said, if there's danger, activate the teleportation stone to return. Lin Mo nodded, holding a teleportation stone specially made for him by Meng Anwen. This teleportation stone was connected to the Divine Sha Tower, and could be used even in hell difficulty dungeons or secret realms. It could help Lin Mo escape danger at any time. In terms of item level, it was only slightly inferior to the Abyss teleportation stone made with space crystals. The teleportation array carried Lin Mo across a long distance. Familiar air entered his nose, and Lin Mo arrived at the ancient battlefield. Looking at the somewhat familiar environment, Lin Mo muttered, "Teacher is being lazy, I 1/2a." This time, the place he arrived at in the ancient battlefield was the same point as last time. Not even a bit off. Meng Anwen didn't even bother to look for a teleportation point, and directly used the last one. However, the upper level of the ancient battlefield was indeed not dangerous for Lin Mo now, so teleporting to any point was the same. Checking the direction, the lightning undead wings suddenly activated. Lin Mo transformed into a streak of lightning and flew towards the core area. This time, having the flying skill made his progress much faster than last time. In the upper space of the ancient battlefield, there were no flying monsters except in the core area. This allowed Lin Mo to fly without any worries. The speed of 600 meters per second allowed Lin Mo to fly 2,000 kilometers per hour. This was more distance than he used to walk in a day. Soon, he saw a familiar place. The territory of the soul-devouring worms. During the great battle back then, the territory of the soul-devouring worms was devastated. After several months, it had recovered somewhat. Hills had reformed, but the soul-devouring worm mother and soul-devouring worm king had not yet been rebred, and it was estimated that it would take some time. Lin Mo continued to move forward, and in the blink of an eye, he had moved far away from the soul-devouring worm territory. He advanced along the route he had once walked, and saw the place where the earth-slaying touch-dragon god had been killed. The collapsed mountain had been restored to its original state under the rules of the ancient battlefield, the earth was still flat, and the poisonous gas had long since dissipated. It was just that the earth-slaying touch-dragon god didn't exist in the mountain this time, and Lin Mo's wish to open a piece of highly poisonous crystal was in vain. After flying for half a day, he flew tens of thousands of kilometers. The monsters under his feet had reached level 55, and the distance to the core area was no longer far. Some of the scenery he saw along the way made Lin Mo sigh. These were all roads he had once walked. The earth changed, and the land of the core area appeared in sight. Finally here, he still had the memory of once struggling to advance in the core area, with skeleton warriors being lost along the way, which was very difficult. In the end, he encountered the ancient Luan bird and almost died inside. This time, Lin Mo believed that this would not happen again. A brilliant fireworks tea exploded on the ground. Lin Mo recognized this skill and couldn't help but smile, they haven't left yet. He saw a team fighting monsters on the edge of the core area. He immediately saw Mu Shenxian in the team. This violent woman holding a huge platinum hammer was very conspicuous. In addition to the firework-like collection skills, the logo was too obvious. Galan Yeyu led her team, wandering on the edge of the core area. Over the past few months, the level of everyone in the team had been improved. Mu Shenxian reached level 60, this speed was not slow. Now they were besieging an ordinary boss. Galan Yeyu, who was a knight, had reached level 61, she stood at the front, firmly protecting her teammates. Under her command, the team firmly grasped the rhythm of the battle. Mu Shenxian gave full play to the potential of a violent woman, she was no longer a vase that could only set off fireworks. Stun skills combined with the inevitable hit talent, plus combat instinct. Mu Shenxian interrupted the boss's skills again and again, making the whole team fight extremely easily. Lin Mo stayed in midair and watched for a while, and found that Mu Shenxian was now vaguely becoming the main force in the team. Her role had become irreplaceable. The boss they were attacking was gradually being worn down. No matter how hard they struggled, it was useless. Seeing that victory was in sight, Lin Mo suddenly looked up. Two demons roared from afar. Galan Yeyu sensed the breath of the demon for the first time, and shouted in a delicate voice, "Demons are coming, everyone be careful." A diaresis I'm holding the boss, the mage is aiming at the demons, and shooting them down. Shenxian, help me control the boss together, just leave an auxiliary. Galan Yeyu reacted very quickly and made arrangements quickly. This team had a full 20 people, enough for her to dispatch. Lin Mo saw it in his eyes and found that he seemed to have underestimated Galan Yeyu a little before. This guy has a very good grasp of the rhythm of the battle. It's a pity, such an arrangement did not have much effect. Lin Mo had dealt with demons too many times, and he could tell at a glance that the levels of the two demons should be around level 65. After level 60, every level up would greatly increase the attribute strength. Any one of these two demons was not much worse than the boss they were attacking. Moreover, the demons were more flexible in combat, and the danger was even greater than the boss. Even without the influence of the boss, their team could only draw with the two demons at most. Not to mention that there was still a boss holding them back. Lin Mo made a judgment almost instantly: Galan Yeyu and the others would be in danger. He didn't make a move, he wanted to see how Galan Yeyu would respond. Two demons, one was the Abyss Sword Demon, and the other was the Abyss Saber Demon. The 8 arms behind the Abyss Saber Demon were like 8 sharp sabers, which were its most powerful weapon. It waved its saber and rushed down, grinning, "Go to hell." The Abyss Sword Demon stayed in midair, waving the Dark Demon sword in its hand, shooting out sharp sword energy one after another. The other two knights in Galan Yeyu came to the front of the team, one to fight against the sword energy, and the other to face the Abyss Saber Demon. The levels of these two knights had reached level 59, and their strength was not bad after the auxiliary bonus, and their attributes were considered acceptable. But compared to the Abyss Saber Demon, it was still a little worse. The Abyss Saber Demon slammed down like a meteor, slashing with 8 arms at the same time. The knight shouted, "Holy Shield Defense!" The shield immediately bloomed with brilliant light, becoming more than twice as large. With a loud bang, the shield was knocked away, and the knight flew out in response. Failed to block it. The auxiliary was quick-witted, and the knight had already received treatment while still flying backwards. At the same time, the mage and archer began to attack the Abyss Saber Demon. The Abyss Saber Demon waved its 8 arms, blocking all the attacks. 15. The Abyss Sword Demon's sword energy crashed heavily into another knight. The knight was instantly critically injured, spitting blood as she flew backward. Chapter 431. Find a good place to erect a tombstone for Qianshan. The difference in level attributes is too great, especially after level 60, it's difficult to compensate even with auxiliary buffs. The Abyss Blade Demon charged into the group with a grin, and the knight who had been knocked away charged back again. Her whole body was glowing, activating her ultimate defense skill. Only in this state could she contend with the Abyss Blade Demon. But she couldn't hold out for long. The Abyss Blade Demon's arms danced into a blur, emitting a dense series of impacts, accompanied by its excited roars, "Die, die!" Mu Qianshan suddenly rushed back, plunging headfirst into the Abyss Blade Demon's blade light. With a delicate shout, the giant hammer smashed out, and the Abyss Blade Demon suddenly stopped. Relying on the two major talents of combat instinct and guaranteed hit, coupled with the stun skill. Even the level 65 Abyss Blade Demon couldn't withstand it, succumbing to the same move. Mu Qianshan shouted, "Full attack!" The team cooperated tacitly, unleashing all their firepower on the Abyss Blade Demon even before Mu Qianshan could speak. The Abyss Sword Demon, standing in midair, lightly shouted and swung his long sword fiercely. In an instant, dozens of sword energies swept across. "Careful!" Mu Qianshan shouted loudly. The mages deployed shields, and the knights activated group defense. A roar sounded in her ears, the Abyss Blade Demon broke free from the stunned state, after only 2 seconds. Mu Qianshan's skill cooldown was 5 seconds, still 3 seconds away from being usable again. She obviously didn't realize that the Abyss Blade Demon would break free so quickly. This was the difference brought about by the level gap, difficult to reverse. If Mu Qianshan was also level 65 now, it wouldn't be so dire, at least it could stun him for 4 seconds. The Abyss Blade Demon glared at Mu Qianshan, "I'll kill you." It was enraged. Blade light exploded, almost completely engulfing Mu Qianshan. The sounds of impact rang out densely, and Mu Qianshan was sent flying. Already injured. "Qianshan, heal Qianshan quickly." Jalan Yeyu shouted urgently, and the healers had already taken action. Lin Moyu watched with a clear mind. Mu Qianshan was already very strong. As a legendary class holder, although not a combat class, her attributes were not bad. Coupled with her talent, Mu Qianshan was the type to rely on one trick to dominate. Among those of the same level, Mu Qianshan was not weaker than ordinary main battle classes. Unfortunately, she encountered the Abyss Blade Demon, which was a strong race among demons. Its attributes were extremely strong, only stronger than legendary class holders. Plus the level difference, Mu Qianshan naturally couldn't be its opponent. The Abyss Blade Demon had suffered a loss just now it was angry, and its combat power was even stronger than before. The knight replacing Mu Qianshan couldn't last more than a few seconds either. Even more so, the terrifying sword energy of the Abyss Sword Demon in the air swept down, overwhelming the team, forcing them to only defend, unable to fight back. The strongest knight in the team, Jalan Yeyu, was entangled by the boss and couldn't break free. As such, defeat and death were only a matter of time. Mu Qianshan shouted, "Sister Yeyu, I'll hold them and the boss back, you guys leave quickly." Mu Qianshan had recovered after treatment, and she shouted CIDH, casting a group aggro skill. Fireworks exploded, instantly snatching the boss's attention from Jalan Yeyu. After level 60, the range of her group aggro skill greatly increased, and even the Abyss Sword Demon in the air was shrouded by the aggro skill. The two demons' attention was forcibly drawn to Mu Qianshan, and they were filled with hatred for Mu Qianshan for a time. The aggro drawing effect of this skill was extremely terrifying. Jalan Yeyu shouted loudly, "No!" But at this time, Mu Qianshan didn't listen to her at all, running away quickly into the distance. While running, she shouted, "Sister Yeyu, take the sisters and leave, don't worry about me." Jalan Yeyu instinctively wanted to chase after her, but hearing Mu Qianshan's words, her foot that had just stepped out stopped again. She had to consider the others in the team. If she chased after her, the greatest possibility was that everyone would die together, becoming food for the demons. Doing so would not have any meaning. In the end, Jalan Yeyu, with tears in her eyes, gritted her teeth, "Go." She turned around and led the others to run in the opposite direction. Everyone in the team had tears in their eyes, they knew that Mu Qianshan was likely not going to survive this time. Lin Moyu was in the high sky, watching the whole process. From a rational point of view, Mu Qianshan was right, and Jalan Yeyu was not wrong either. But from a personal character standpoint, Lin Moyu did not like Jalan Yeyu's behavior. Mu Qianshan was running as fast as she could with all her might. The boss behind her was no slower than her, and the speed of the Abyss Blade Demon even exceeded her. Seeing that it was about to catch up, Mu Qianshan suddenly turned around and used a stun skill on the Abyss Blade Demon. The Abyss Blade Demon instantly entered a stun state, and Mu Qianshan took the opportunity to continue running away. The Abyss Sword Demon in the air slashed out sword energies, all of which were dodged by Mu Qianshan. Combat instinct played a great role, giving her extraordinary intuition, dodging the Abyss Sword Demon's attacks again and again. Mu Qianshan was also like this, stunning the Abyss Blade Demon several times. The Abyss Blade Demon was so angry that it wailed loudly, its whole body emitting a dark light, and abyss fire ignited on its arms. The flames brushed past Mu Qianshan's body, each time causing considerable damage to Mu Qianshan. The sword energies flying from overhead were also interwoven into a net, making it increasingly difficult for her to evade. Mu Qianshan took out a potion and drank it, now all she was thinking about was to hold on a little longer and run as far as possible. To buy more time for Jalan Yeyu and the others. As she ran, she also attracted many monsters from the core area, making her escape even worse. In just a few minutes, she was exhausted and could no longer run. Finally, a terrifying sword energy came head-on. The Abyss Blade Demon's blade behind her had also fallen. Even if her combat instinct talent was strong, she would not be able to dodge in this situation. Mu Qianshan smiled bitterly, "I might really die this time." For some reason, in this critical moment, Lin Moyu's figure suddenly appeared in her mind. She didn't think about where Jalan Yeyu had escaped to, nor did she think about whether she had lured them far enough. At this moment, her subconscious thought of Lin Moyu. Mu Qianshan had already closed her eyes, with no fear on her face. A few seconds later, the expected pain did not come. 16. Mu Qianshan opened her eyes and saw a dazzling white light. Bone armor. Delight bloomed in Mu Qianshan's eyes. The appearance of the bone armor meant that Lin Moyu had arrived. She raised her head, searching all around, and immediately saw Lin Moyu standing in the air. Now that Lin Moyu had arrived, she wouldn't have to die. Mu Qianshan completely disregarded the Abyss Blade Demon that had charged in front of her, the terrifying sword energy falling from the sky, and even the imminent boss. She simply waved at Lin Moyu, with a smile on her face. The bone armor shimmered brightly. After the talent bonus, the bone armor provided defense equivalent to 300,000 constitution. Even if the level 60 plus Abyss Blade Demon and Sword Demon attacked with all their might, it would be impossible to break it in a short time. The Abyss Blade Demon was surprised by the sudden appearance of the bone armor, and then saw Lin Moyu. A level 50 little guy, who actually possesses flying skills. Tisk tisk, meat delivered right to my door, a mix of male and female tastes even better. The Abyss Sword Demon also saw Lin Moyu, but its attention was still drawn to Mu Qianshan, and it did not attack Lin Moyu. It must be said that the aggro drawing ability of the collection skill is comparable only to a few skills of the Knight class. The next second, Mu Qianshan received a team invitation from Lin Moyu. She quickly left her original team and chose to join Lin Moyu's team. Then a red light flashed, and the curse descended. Skill, Curse of Aging. Just as the curse took effect, suddenly the Abyss Blade Demon, Abyss Sword Demon, Boss, and the several monsters that had been pulled over were all frozen in place, unable to move. The Abyss Sword Demon even fell straight down from the air. Skill, Bone Prison. Time seemed to stand still, everyone was bound. The Undead Legion then surged out. Jalin Yeyu and the others had already escaped far away. They ran hundreds of kilometers in one breath. Suddenly, a look of sorrow appeared on their faces as Mu Qianshan left the team. They knew that Mu Qianshan was dead. Each of them cried with tears streaming down their faces. Jalin Yeyu cried and shouted, "Stop crying, let's keep running. Let's find a good place to erect a tombstone for Qianshan. Then we'll go back and resurrect Qianshan, and bring her back to see her own tombstone in the future." Chapter 432. She shouldn't be a knight, she should be a gravedigger. The Abyss Blade Demon and Abyss Sword Demon, trapped in the bone prison, watched helplessly as the skeleton berserker's axe slammed down on them. They were not monsters, they were demons, capable of thought, struggle, and fear. Fear rose in their eyes. Who is this? Why can't I move? They had questions in their minds, but there was no time to think. If they continued to think, they would lose their lives. The skeleton berserker's axe shone with red light, and they felt the threat of death. Bang bang bang, several sounds. The Abyss Blade Demon's arms exploded one after another. Each time it exploded, its body would tremble involuntarily, in immense pain. Arms were not only their weapons, but after level 60, arms had another function, which was to save lives. When its arms exploded, a powerful force surged from its body. After exploding 4 arms in a row, the bone prison outside its body shattered, and it regained its freedom. At this moment, the skeleton berserker's axe also arrived. Berserk Smash Level 2 deals 600% of the user's strength as damage to the target, cooldown time of 10 minutes. How strong were the stats of a level 50 skeleton berserker? After the talent amplification, its strength stat reached 252,000. Plus the Lich General's 50% amplification, it was close to 380,000 strength. Plus the 600% amplification. This axe almost instantly killed the Abyss Blade Demon. The Abyss Blade Demon felt death approaching, and at the last moment, it raised its arm, turning it into a large blade to forcefully meet the axe. Its arm snapped in response, and demon blood spurted out like a fountain. It screamed and quickly rushed towards the sky, fleeing without looking back. In its eyes, this level 50 guy was too terrifying. As for the Abyss Sword Demon, who was also trapped, the Abyss Blade Demon didn't care about it at all, adhering to the idea of sacrificing a friend rather than oneself. In the Abyss world, it was the law of the jungle, and there was no such thing as friends. Just as it flew out, it heard a scream, and it knew that the Abyss Sword Demon was dead. It was so frightened that it didn't dare to look back, only flying outwards. Bang! It felt like it had crashed into a copper wall, and was heavily knocked back. It raised its head and saw Lin Moyu standing in front of it, also shimmering with bone armor. Too panicked, the Abyss Blade Demon obviously didn't realize how slow it was due to the curse. Now its speed was at most a few dozen meters per second. Compared to Lin Moyu's 600 meters per second, there was no comparison at all. In an instant, Lin Moyu caught up. You can't escape. 10 skeleton archmages and 10 skeleton sharpshooters appeared beside Lin Moyu. Now that he was level 50, he had to test the combat power of the skeleton archmages and sharpshooters. The skeleton berserker had already verified its combat power just now. In a few moves, it had instantly killed the Abyss Sword Demon. In the Abyss Blade Demon's terrified eyes, elements exploded violently, and it was simultaneously pierced by sharp arrows. It was already severely injured, and now it screamed and fell from the sky. On the way down, the second round of attacks arrived. The skeletons wouldn't stop just because it was falling. During the fall, it sustained a full 3 rounds of sharpshooter attacks and 2 rounds of archmage elemental explosions. When it landed, it was completely dead. In the blink of an eye, Lin Moyu killed 2 demons, and pulled out a fully fledged undead legion of 900, quickly rushing towards the boss. Core Stone Beast Elite Monster. Level 60. Strength 120,000. Agility 40,000. Spirit 40,000. Constitution 120,000. Skills: Full Power Slam, Earth Tremor. Traits: 40% reduced elemental damage, 50% reduced physical damage. 17. The boss was just a normal elite monster, its total stats only amounted to 320,000, which was even less than the level 55 Red Moon Demon. Monsters and bosses above level 60 would have a significant increase in stats, but this obviously didn't include the one in front of him that was just at level 60. Using an entire undead legion to deal with such an unremarkable boss was giving it a lot of respect. Lin Moyu stopped looking at the outcome and went to Mu Xian's side. I saved you again, just like last time in the core area. Mu Xian was still immersed in surprise. Hearing Lin Moyu's words, she smiled and said, thank you. Let's be practical, Lin Moyu said straightforwardly, I want to go to the center of the core area, accompany me. Mu Xian agreed without hesitation, okay, no problem. Lin Moyu said, this time might be dangerous, aren't you afraid of death? Mu Xian shook her head, I'm not afraid, with you around, I won't die. Lin Moyu chuckled, not knowing if she was really not afraid, or if she just trusted him too much. Killed Core Stone Beast, experience plus 180000. Obtained Core Sword. Obtained Core Sword through collection. Core Sword Knight only Platinum Grade Weapon, all stats plus 2800, Knight Class Attack Skill Amplification 80%. Core Sword Knight only Platinum Grade Weapon, all stats plus 2800, Knight Class Attack Skill Amplification 80%. Neither piece of equipment was very good, Lin Moyu just glanced at them and threw them into his storage space. Now his standards were high, this kind of stuff couldn't catch his eye anymore. Mu Xian's eyes sparkled, you've become so strong. She was still as innocent as a blank sheet of paper, her emotions all on her face. She said whatever she was thinking, full of sincerity. Lin Moyu wasn't too modest, it's alright, do you need to rest? Mu Xian shook her head, no need, I can rest while walking. Her stats leaned towards warrior, her physique was strong, and her recovery speed was fast. Although she had been injured earlier and was a little exhausted. But in just a few minutes, she had recovered a lot. As long as she didn't continue fighting, she would recover quickly. Lin Moyu didn't fly anymore, it wasn't suitable to fly in the core area. This time entering the core area was much easier than last time. Lin Moyu only used an undead legion to clear the way, he didn't need to worry about anything else. The ordinary monsters in the core area couldn't stop the undead legion's advance. Half a day later, Mu Xian had fully recovered. She diligently did her job. The fireworks of collection technique bloomed in the core area. Actually, you don't need to do this, you won't get anything good from these ordinary monsters. Lin Moyu basically didn't care about the materials and items dropped by ordinary monsters. After all, they were just level 60 plus ordinary monsters, at most some platinum grade ordinary materials. Mu Xian shook her head, it's still worth some money, Sister Yu said that there will be many places to spend money in the future. At level 60, you need to buy a lot of intermediate skill scrolls, and at level 70 and 80, you need to buy advanced skill scrolls. Otherwise, my skills can't awaken. Hearing her words, Lin Moyu realized that Mu Xian's job was also a bit special. Collection Master was an unpopular job, there wasn't even a corresponding mentor in Shajing Academy. Like himself, she also had to rely on skill scrolls. And if there was no job sublimation at level 70, the level 70 skills required advanced skill scrolls. Each advanced skill scroll cost 100 million, which was frighteningly expensive. And one or two wouldn't be enough, you might need dozens or hundreds. Lin Moyu said, don't you hate them? Them. Mu Xian didn't react at first, then she realized who Lin Moyu was talking about. She shook her head, I don't hate them, why should I hate them? Jialin Yu also had a chance to lure the abyssal demons away, and she is a knight, she has a better chance of survival than you. And she might have planted a soul imprint, she can also be resurrected if she dies. Lin Moyu thought for a while and still said what he thought. Mu Xian shook her head violently. It's different, Sister Yu is more capable of taking the sisters away from here than I am. And I have also planted a soul imprint, I can also be resurrected if I die. Lin Moyu didn't expect that Mu Xian had also been planted with a soul imprint. Planting a soul imprint requires a lot of cost, not just anyone can enjoy this treatment. In each family, only the most outstanding people can be planted with a soul imprint. Mu Xian explained, I grew up with Sister Yu since I was a child, the soul imprint was also planted by Sister Yu for me. Lin Moyu understood. Mu Xian was not only simple, but also very kind. She was a good girl. Lin Moyu suddenly thought of a possibility, do you think they will erect a tombstone for you? Mu Xian replied without thinking, definitely, Sister Yu will definitely do it. Lin Moyu felt that Jialin Yu, this woman, had a hobby of erecting tombstones. She really shouldn't be a knight, she should be a gravedigger. Roar! A loud roar interrupted the two's conversation. A huge boss appeared in front of them. Chapter 433. Actually escaped, cowardly boss. A job. Lin Moyu saw the boss, a boss with a tiger's head, but covered with scales, and a tail full of barbs. It roared at the skeletons, its whole body bristled, and each upturned hair was like a sharp arrow. Its height exceeded 6 meters, and its length exceeded 15 meters. It was a well-deserved behemoth. Of course, it couldn't be compared to the world-class boss like the Earth Dragon God. Similarly, combat power was not determined by size. It seemed to feel the power of the skeletons and did not directly attack. It could be seen that it was vigilant. If there was danger, it might even run away. After level 60, boss also possessed some weak wisdom instincts. Many people believe that level 60 is a watershed. But Lin Moyu felt that level 60 was a connecting stage. In this stage, the stats skyrocketed, and the boss became stronger. It was in order to better adapt to the power after level 70. A breeze blew, and the detection technique had already brought back its information. 427, Battlefield Ironclad Tiger Elite Monster. Level 64, 18, A Strength, 160,000 A Agility, 140,000 A Spirit, 40,000 A Constitution, 160,000 A Skills, Gale Roar, Ironclad Impact, A Traits, Elemental Damage Reduction 50%, Physical Damage Reduction 50%. Lin Mo looked at it, the total attributes reached 500,000. This is what a core area boss should look like. Double damage reduction for elemental and physical damage, plus the boss's vitality, it can be considered powerful. At least if it collides with the Earth Touch Dragon God, it's hard to say who will win. This was the first time Mu Qianshan had seen such a powerful boss, and she couldn't help asking, can we beat it? Lin Mo looked at her frightened appearance, what if we can't beat it? Mu Qianshan didn't hesitate at all, if we can't beat it, I'll hold it back, and you run. This guy, she simply doesn't treat her own life as life. Anyone who didn't know would think she had a resurrection skill. Lin Mo chuckled, no need, get ready to use your collection skill. With a thought, the Undead Legion had already rushed straight up. A fully organized Undead Legion, with 300 skeleton berserkers charging in the front, skeleton archers in the middle, and skeleton archmages in the rear. As the Undead Legion moved, the battlefield Ironclad Tiger also moved in response. Since it was alert, its dignity as a boss wouldn't allow it to run without fighting. Even if it wanted to run, it would have to fight first. The battlefield Ironclad Tiger let out a deafening roar, leaping high and pouncing towards the skeleton berserkers. While still in midair, bursts of elemental explosions had already detonated on its body. Then, the skeleton archer's sharp arrows densely streaked across the sky, piercing into its body. The ironclad tiger was covered in thick and sturdy black armor, and the arrows hitting it produced a dense sound. As a boss, it possessed extremely strong defense. Without being cursed, the attacks of the skeleton archmages and skeleton archers were enough to cause damage to it, but the damage wasn't particularly great. A flash of fire passed by, and the flame lich appeared beside Lin Mo. In an instant, a ring of fire appeared beneath the feet of all members of the Undead Legion. While the battlefield ironclad tiger was engulfed in raging flames. A ring of fire applies a ring of fire to all members of the Undead Legion, dealing fire damage to all enemies within a 1,000-meter radius. The damage depends on the skill level and the lich's attributes. A Now, it was the only target within range, and all of the Ring of Fire's attacks were directed at it. The battlefield ironclad tiger let out a high-pitched roar, clearly not enjoying being burned. When the flame lich appeared, Mu Qianshin's eyes lit up as she stared at the flame lich. Wow, so cute. Lin Mo had expected this, chuckled, and didn't reply. He observed the battlefield ironclad tiger's reaction. It was rare to have such a good experimental subject, so how could Lin Mo easily let it go? After watching for a while, he discovered that the battlefield black armor was still injured under the burning flames. Looks like it's somewhat effective, let's try this. A cold wind blew, and the temperature dropped sharply. The frost lich, exuding a chilling aura, appeared beside Lin Mo. A cyan halo simultaneously appeared beneath the skeleton's feet. A freezing aura. Applies a freezing aura to all members of the Undead Legion, causing a freezing effect to all enemies within a 1,000-meter radius. The freezing effect depends on the skill level and the lich's attributes. A. The cyan freezing aura and the red ring of fire complemented each other, looking very beautiful. The battlefield ironclad tiger, which was originally being burned by flames, was suddenly covered in a layer of ice. Especially its limbs, the ice layer was particularly thick, as if it was about to freeze it completely. It gradually fell into a frozen state. Then, it suddenly let out a roar, its whole body glowing, and a skill was activated. Skill. Gale Roar. The fierce gale blasted the ice layer apart, but there was still a lingering chill on its body. The gale blew away the shattered ice, but it couldn't blow back the skeleton berserkers. The skeleton berserkers didn't retreat a step, still firmly surrounding it and continuously attacking it. Although it wasn't frozen, its speed had slowed down considerably. According to Lin Mo, it was at least 2 or 3 times slower. Under the siege of the skeleton warriors, it appeared even more disadvantaged. Although the freezing aura didn't have an attack effect, it possessed the same ability as a curse, and it seemed that it couldn't be dispelled. Unless one could have the ability to be immune to status effects, like himself. When the frost lich appeared, Qi Qianshin let out another scream. This one is also so cute. Lin Mo still ignored her. The effect is good, let's add another one. Electric light crackled, sparks carried lightning, and the lightning lich emerged in response. A lightning aura appeared beneath the skeleton's feet. For a time, there was thunder and lightning. Countless lightning bolts densely struck down from the sky. It was as if the thunder god was angry. Almost instantly, the battlefield ironclad tiger endured hundreds of lightning attacks. The battlefield ironclad tiger let out a wail, and it activated its skill again. Skill. Ironclad Impact. The armor on its body suddenly shattered, turning into an ironclad whirlwind that held around its body. This skill was quite powerful, with great impact. The massive force collectively pushed back the approaching skeleton berserkers. Even the skeleton berserkers who had already jumped onto it were shaken off at this moment. At first glance, it looked as if its body size had suddenly increased several times. The ironclad whirlwind not only shook off and pushed back the skeleton berserkers, but also acted like a sturdy armor, blocking the elemental explosions and the sharp arrows of the archers. Even the aura attacks of the flame lich and lightning lich were blocked outside. This skill is not bad, I wonder what its attack power is like, Lin Mo commented softly. The battlefield ironclad tiger, after using its skill, was exceptionally mighty and roared continuously. Just as Lin Mo was waiting for its next move, the next second, it turned around and ran away with a roar. Mu Qianshin was extremely surprised. It ran away. Lin Mo had a face full of black lines. This coward. His expectations were actually in vain. This guy used his skill just to escape. It was still a level 64 boss, how could it be such a coward? But it also proved that the other party did possess some weak intelligence, at least the instinct for survival. Mu Qianshin watched the battlefield ironclad tiger run far away and asked 1.1, should we chase it? It can't escape, Lin Mo said softly, and a gale rose from the ground. The storm lich, covered in wind elements, emerged in response. In an instant, the Undead Legion's speed increased dramatically, at least tripled. Its speed exceeded 1,000 meters per second, even faster than the lightning undead wings. In just a few seconds, it had already caught up with the battlefield ironclad tiger and surrounded it again. The battlefield ironclad tiger maintained its skill, charging and smashing, trying to break through the skeleton's encirclement again. The iron armor whirred and rotated, knocking back the skeleton berserkers, forcibly creating a gap. Hope was right in front of it, when suddenly its whole body stiffened in place and didn't move, while its body was covered with dense bones. 19. Skill. Bone Prison. Bone Prison triggered a paralysis effect, immobilizing the armored ironclad tiger as if with a hold-person spell. Its skill was also interrupted. Under its slightly horrified gaze, the skeleton berserkers charged forward, axes raised. Crimson dust filled the air, and the curse descended in response. Lin Mo softly said to Mu Qianqun, "Go set off the fireworks." Chapter 434. Reencountering the Ancient Luan Bird. Lin Mo still remembered the last time he entered the core area and encountered the level 64 battlefield serpent turtle. It didn't run away, but he did. This time, everything was completely different. He only needed to use one undead legion to eliminate the level 64 armored ironclad tiger. This time, Mu Qianqun didn't need to use any combat instincts. She easily walked up to the armored ironclad tiger and set off the fireworks. Restrained by Bone Prison, the armored ironclad tiger couldn't move anything except its eyes. Under the fireworks, the skeleton berserkers' axes glowed red. Hundreds of axes fell densely. With a mournful cry, the armored ironclad tiger crashed down. Killed armored ironclad tiger, experience plus 192000. Obtained ironclad spear. Obtained ironclad spear through collection art. Ironclad spear warrior only platinum grade weapon, all attributes plus 2800, warrior type skill amplification 90%. Comes with skill, sweeping 1,000 armies. Sweeping 1,000 armies. Attacks all enemies within 5 meters, with a chance to stun. Cooldown time, 3 minutes. Ironclad spear warrior only platinum grade weapon, all attributes plus 2800, warrior type skill amplification 90%. Thanks to the collection art, an extra ironclad spear was obtained. But as before, weapons obtained through the collection art do not have skills. These weapons can only be sold to the exchange, and the price won't be too high. Lin Mo put away the elemental lich. In battle, the elemental liches had proven their practicality. Whether in terms of damage, control, or pursuit, they were excellent. If the skill levels can be improved in the future, and better elemental materials can be found, the elemental liches will become even more powerful. When Lin Mo put away the elemental liches, a hint of disappointment appeared on Mu Qianqun's face. "Are these also your summons?" Lin Mo nodded, "Yes." Mu Qianqun said, "Oh, then, I thought they were pets." "It would be great if they were pets. I'd like to keep a few." She didn't pay attention to the elemental lich's function at all, but was more concerned about their appearance. Their perspectives were completely different. Lin Mo didn't explain much and continued forward. The core area was very large. In the upper space of the ancient battlefield, the core area occupied the largest area. It would take a lot of time to reach its center. During the advance, monsters flew over from the sky from time to time. They would spot Lin Mo and his undead legion on the ground, and then swoop down. But they often failed to approach Lin Mo and were instantly killed by the undead legion's concentrated fire. Lin Mo's speed this time was much faster than last time. He could basically advance thousands of kilometers every day. Seemingly leisurely, he was actually moving very fast. All the monsters along the way were swept away. For 5 consecutive days, they hadn't encountered the ancient Luan bird. Ordinary bosses were encountered several times, but without exception, they all fell before the undead legion. Lin Mo had now tested the control time of Bone Prison. Level 50 Bone Prison lasts for 50 seconds, reaching 3000 seconds after amplification. But when controlling level 63 or 64 bosses, even if only controlling one, the control time would be drastically reduced to 30 seconds. The control time was reduced by a full 100 times. If encountering a Lord-level boss or a World-level boss, the control time would inevitably be further reduced. Even so, it was completely sufficient. Let alone 30 seconds, even 3 seconds would be enough to cause terrifying damage. As they went deeper into the core area, the earth was also changing. The earth in the core area was polished, similar to a mirror, reflecting itself. Later, it became smoother and smoother, and even began to become transparent. 5 days later, Lin Mo and Mu Qianqun stepped into another area. The earth in this area was in a semi-transparent state, and flames could be seen burning under the ground. The entire land exuded the aura of burning. The moment Lin Mo saw the flames, he murmured, "Finally here." Mu Qianqun didn't understand. "What's here?" Lin Mo said, "Remember that ancient Luan bird." Mu Qianqun thought for a moment, her face suddenly changed, and she nodded vigorously. Remember. You were killed by it last time. We even erected a tombstone for you. Lin Mo stared at her. First of all, I wasn't killed. Secondly, don't mention the tombstone again. Mu Qianchen said, oh. But looking at her, she knew that she was humbly accepting, but whether she would change was hard to say. Lin Mo was too lazy to argue with her. We should have entered its territory now. It may come at any time, so be careful. Mu Qianchen suddenly pointed to the distant sky. Look, is that it? Lin Mo looked up and saw a black fireball. The fireball was like a blazing sun hanging in the air, and it was rapidly growing larger. In the center of the fireball, the ancient Luan bird was flying towards them. Speak of the devil, Lin Mo nodded, that's it. With that, he put on bone armor for himself and Mu Qianchen. Undead legions appeared in batches, and the Lich General buffed all the skeletons. Brilliant light soared into the sky. Lin Mo was ready for battle in almost the blink of an eye. The ancient Luan bird's impression on Lin Mo was too deep. Even with his greatly increased strength, Lin Mo would not take it lightly. It was also in these short 2 seconds that the ancient Luan bird had cut through the sky and quickly approached. The speed was very fast. Lin Mo roughly judged that its speed exceeded 1,000 meters per second. It was much faster than his lightning undead wings. If it couldn't beat him and wanted to escape, he wouldn't be able to catch up. He had to think of a way to prevent it from escaping. While thinking about tactics in his mind, he heard Mu Qianchen's voice. It looks a little scary. Be careful. If there's danger, you should escape yourself. Don't worry about me. Mu Qianchen was still thinking about Lin Mo. Lin Mo looked at her strangely. This girl was really not afraid of death. Lin Mo already had a plan in mind. Find the right time to set off the fireworks. If you can't set them off, it doesn't matter. Safety first. Mu Qianchen nodded, I will. As they spoke, the ancient Luan bird had already arrived. 20. Its wings shook, and black flames rained down from the sky. Instantly, a dense rain of fire fell over 1,000 meters. The Lich Generals formed a circle, protecting Mu Qianchen. Lich Generals have powerful physiques and can heal themselves, making them excellent meat shields. Skill: Undead Lightning Wings. Accompanied by a burst of electricity, a pair of wings woven from bones appeared on Lin Mo's back. Currents of electricity flickered on the wings. The next second, Lin Mo's wings vibrated, and he charged straight into the sky against the rain of fire. The entire Undead Legion, all 27,000 skeletons, also soared into the sky with Lin Mo. The skeletons did not grow wings on their backs. The effect of the undead lightning wings was applied to them through a special connection, granting them the ability to fly. Amidst the rain of fire, the Undead Legion soared into the sky, a spectacular sight. The ancient Luan bird seemed to still remember Lin Mo. Upon seeing Lin Mo, it let out a sharp cry, its wings beating even more violently, and the flames became denser. Long time no see, Lin Mo said softly, casting a detection spell. Ancient Luan bird, Lord level boss. Level: 67. Strength: 300,000. Agility: 150,000. Spirit: 200,000. Constitution: 150,000. Skills: Flame Jet, Flame Explosion. Traits: Fire Element Damage Immunity, Elemental Damage Reduction 60%, Physical Damage Reduction 60%, Sharp Fangs Ignore Defense. Its attributes, reaching as high as 800,000, spoke of its power. Flames struck the skeletons, exploding one after another. Some skeletons were blown away by the huge impact, but they quickly regained their balance and continued to charge forward. White light flickered on the skeletons, and the damage they had just received was healed in an instant. If it were in the past, this fireball attack alone could have killed many skeletons. But now, it could only injure them, and not even severely. The Undead Legion broke through the rain of fire like a hot knife through butter, charging towards the ancient Luan bird. The ancient Luan bird was enveloped in black flames, and approaching it meant taking damage. Under Lin Mo's command, the skeleton berserkers ignored the black fire damage, ignored the raging flames that began to burn on their bodies, and pounced on it, hacking with their axes. At the same time, Lin Mo pointed his finger. Skill: Curse of Aging. The great battle erupted completely at this moment. Chapter 435, Even Stronger After Nirvana. Still Kill. The Scarlet Curse formed a stark contrast with the ancient Luan bird's black fire. A scarlet small sword with shackles appeared above the ancient Luan bird's head. The ancient Luan bird's speed immediately slowed down. Even as strong as it was still affected by the curse. However, Lin Mo noticed that the curse was rapidly collapsing in the raging black fire. It seemed that it had always been like this, its black flames had the ability to destroy curses. However, the curse was just the beginning. At the same time the curse took effect, the skeleton archmages and skeleton marksmen were already in position, launching their attacks. They surrounded the ancient Luan bird in a circle. Some high, some low, some far, some near, they surrounded the ancient Luan bird from all angles completely. At the same time, they were sufficiently dispersed to prevent the ancient Luan bird's group attack skills. Violent explosions erupted on the ancient Luan bird's body, and the marksman's arrows turned it into a hedgehog in the blink of an eye. The curse played a powerful role, allowing the skeleton archmages and marksmen's attacks to break through the ancient Luan bird's defense. Elemental liches appeared one after another, and halos appeared under the skeletons' feet simultaneously. This time, in addition to the flame liches and light liches, all other elemental liches appeared. The frost aura caused the black fire on the ancient Luan bird's body to pause, and a layer of ice covered its body. However, it only lasted for less than half a second before being incinerated by the black fire. But the effect of the aura continued at all times, with ice layers constantly appearing and being incinerated. The storm aura gave the skeletons faster speed, and the earth aura greatly increased the skeletons' defense. Dense lightning fell from the sky, and tens of thousands of lightning bolts struck the ancient Luan bird, causing it to scream incessantly. It shook its wings and spewed fierce flames from its mouth, covering a large area of the sky. Skill, flame jet, skeletons were set ablaze, burning fiercely. But the skeletons did not retreat an inch and continued to stand their ground. A roar sounded, and a large number of fireballs appeared in the air, then exploded. Skill, flame explosion. The ancient Luan bird used two skills at the same time, but it still couldn't do anything to the undead legion. The flames that once caused Lin Mo heavy losses now caused only this much damage to the skeletons. Lin Mo's strength had improved far too much compared to back then. The undead legion could even kill weakened demon kings head-on. A mere level 67 lord level boss seemed insignificant. It seems that what needs to be careful about is its talent, Lin Mo sensed. Currently, the ancient Luan bird was no longer a threat. Only its talent needed to be careful. Lin Mo now understood why the detection spell could not find the ancient Luan bird's nirvana skill. It was not a skill at all, but the ancient Luan bird's talent. That was why the detection spell did not detect it. The battle before him was already without suspense. The ancient Luan bird continued to use its skills, with flames covering the sky and the earth. The area within 1,000 meters had become a sea of fire. But no matter how it struggled and resisted, the result was in vain. Skeleton berserkers had climbed all over its body, and axes were hacking down, glowing red. Under the skeletons' torrential attacks, the ancient Luan bird was heavily injured in just 1 minute. Lin Mo did not use the bone prison, it was not the time yet. He was waiting for the ancient Luan bird to use its talent. Sure enough, after another 10 seconds, all the flames disappeared and gathered at the same time, and terrifying energy swept out. A huge fireball appeared in the air, a black fireball with a diameter of over 1,000 meters. The fireball burned fiercely, and the temperature was extremely hot. The skeleton berserkers who were originally on the ancient Luan bird's body were blown away. The ancient Luan bird's nirvana talent was activated. The fireball stayed in the air for a few seconds before falling towards the ground. Whether intentional or coincidental, the direction was exactly where Mu Qianshan was. Lin Mo's expression changed slightly, and he immediately flew down, grabbing Mu Qianshan and flying away. 21. At the same time, all members of the Undead Legion also soared into the sky, away from the ground. In a roar, a mushroom cloud rose from the earth. Violent shockwaves rushed in all directions, and skeletons that were not far enough away were blown away. Lin Mo Yu was now more than 2,000 meters away from the explosion, but was still subjected to a violent impact. The bone armor shone brightly, blocking all attacks. From the movement of the bone armor, Lin Mo Yu could judge how strong the explosion was. The Nirvana talent not only allows the ancient Luan bird to be reborn, but also has the ability to perish together with the enemy. Fortunately, Lin Mo Yu had seen it once and was prepared. Perhaps the undead legion could withstand it, but Mu Qianchen would undoubtedly die. The bone armor, equivalent to 300,000 constitution defense, could not withstand this blow. After the explosion, a giant crater with a diameter of over a kilometer appeared on the ground. Raging flames were burning. Ancient Luan bird, Lord level boss. Level 67. Status: Rebirth in Nirvana, currently in an invincible state. As before, the detection spell returned the same answer. Now he could only wait until it finished its rebirth in Nirvana. Mu Qianchen's voice came from his ear, "Could you please put me down first?" When Mu Qianchen spoke, warm breath sprayed on his face, making his face ticklish. Lin Moyu then realized that he was holding her, and Mu Qianchen had to hold him so she wouldn't fall. Mu Qianchen was tall, only half a head shorter than him. In this position, Mu Qianchen's mouth was very close to him. Mu Qianchen's pretty face was flushed at this time, her ears were hot, and she felt a little weak. Lin Moyu, being a straight man, didn't feel anything unusual, and directly landed and put Mu Qianchen down. Then he said, "Get ready with the collection skill, I'll call you in a moment, then you go up. Don't move unless I tell you to." Mu Qianchen hummed with her head down, as an answer. At this time, she was extremely shy. It was the first time in her life that she had been held by a member of the opposite sex like this. But strangely, she didn't feel disgusted at all, but instead felt secretly happy. Lin Moyu once again had the Lich General surround Mu Qianchen, then flew high, staring at the ancient Luan bird without blinking. The flames burned fiercely, scorching the earth, lasting a full 5 minutes. Then all the flames focused towards the center of the pit, and a powerful aura rose from the center of the pit. Lin Moyu frowned slightly, it seemed stronger than before. Could it be that Nirvana is not just rebirth, but also becoming stronger? With a flick of his finger, the detection spell flew out. Ancient Luan bird, Lord level boss. Level 68. Strength 330,000. Agility 170,000. Spirit 200,000. Constitution 200,000. Skills: Flame Jet, Flame Explosion, Black Flame Fire Sea. Traits: Fire Element Damage Immunity, Element Damage Reduction 70%, Physical Damage Reduction 70%. It really got stronger. Lin Moyu's feeling was right, it did get stronger. It went from level 67 to level 68. The total attributes increased by a full 100,000, and it gained a skill. Element immunity and physical immunity have been enhanced, and at the same time, the trait of ignoring defense with sharp teeth has been lost. From this, it can be judged that its flame attack will be more powerful, and it will no longer bite. But speaking of which, it didn't seem to bite the skeletons just now either. With its size, the skeletons were too small. But even if it's level 68, Lin Moyu didn't care, he would still kill it. The ancient Luan bird finished its nirvana and became even stronger. Before it could even let out a sharp roar, its body was suddenly covered with dense white bones. The huge body froze there, unable to move. Skill: Bone Prison. Lin Moyu planned to make a quick decision this time. The skeletons rushed up again, and the skeleton archmage and sharpshooter began to attack. Lightning fell from the sky, continuously bombarding it. Under the restraint of the bone prison, the ancient Luan bird had no power to fight back, and could only passively take a beating. "Girl, come over and set off fireworks." Hearing Lin Moyu's call, Mu Qianchen responded and ran over quickly. Facing the terrifying black flames, Mu Qianchen didn't hesitate at all and plunged into them. She trusted Lin Moyu too much. Since Lin Moyu told her to go, then there would definitely be no danger. The black flames kept burning, and the bone armor shone, helping her block the flames. Lin Moyu stood in the air, constantly replenishing Mu Qianchen's bone armor. Mu Qianchen didn't delay either, quickly ran to the side of the restrained ancient Luan bird and set off a brilliant firework. Then she quickly ran out of the flames and shouted at Lin Moyu, "The fireworks are set off." Lin Moyu smiled slightly, suddenly his face changed drastically, and he rushed down, picked up Mu Qianchen and flew towards the distant sky without looking back. Chapter 436. No more than 3 times, don't go too far. Before he could fly far, another mushroom cloud rose. Shockwaves visible to the naked eye, carrying black flames, swept over the sky. Lin Moyu moved Mu Qianchen to his chest, using his back to face the shockwave. The distance was too close, and this time the shockwave was obviously stronger than the last time. The bone armor shattered with a bang, and the huge force pushed Lin Moyu out. Damage transfer was activated in time, and all the damage was borne by the Undead Legion. Fortunately, Lin Moyu's physique was already quite strong, plus 50% fire element immunity. There were also elemental resistance skills, and comprehensive amplification skills. The damage Lin Moyu received was greatly reduced. The damage that the Undead Legion needed to share for Lin Moyu was not particularly huge. The Lich General was also shaken by the violent shockwave, and the skills never stopped halfway. This wave of explosions came too easily, almost engulfing the entire Undead Legion. If it weren't for the existence of the comprehensive connection talent, the Skeleton Archmage and Skeleton Sharpshooter would definitely be wiped out. Only the Skeleton Berserker could survive. Now almost all the skeletons were seriously injured, and the Lich General was busy non-stop. Lin Moyu flew back with Mu Qianqin. At this time he was still afraid, just a little bit, his Undead Legion would have been wiped out. What happened just now? Could it have self-destructed? He had sensed the terrifying energy gathering just now, and reacted immediately. If it had been a second later, Mu Qianqin could really have prepared to be resurrected. 22. The original 1,000-meter pit has become even more enormous. Its diameter is at least over 2,000 meters. The depth exceeds 100 meters. The flames within the pit blaze fiercely, even more intense than before. Lin Mo watched the ancient Luan bird in the flames. To be precise, it was an ancient Luan bird egg. A detection spell was cast. Ancient Luan bird Lord level boss. Level 68. State: undergoing a second nirvana rebirth, currently in an invincible state. Lin Mo was about to curse in his heart. This was simply cheating. How could there be such a thing as a second nirvana? It was utterly disgusting. If there was a second time, would there be a third or fourth? And would it become even stronger? Lin Mo felt a headache. Mu Qianqin seemed a little frightened this time, shrinking slightly. What do we do? She also saw through the detection spell that the current situation seemed a bit complex. With her mind, she didn't know what to do for a moment. Lin Mo pondered for a moment. Try again, step back a bit, follow the path we came from, retreat at least 5 kilometers. Mu Qianqin hummed in agreement and quickly moved away. She knew that not only could she not help here, but she would also be a burden. If she wasn't here, Lin Mo could unleash his full strength more easily. Lin Mo stared intently at the ancient Luan bird, which had turned into an egg, and the aura emanating from it was getting stronger and stronger. It should be coming out soon. With a thought, the Undead Legion quickly dispersed. Only 1,000 skeleton berserkers were left, and the remaining 8,000 could not be recalled. Lin Mo ordered them to retreat quickly. Although the ancient Luan bird's size was large, 1,000 skeleton berserkers were enough to surround it 3 times over. The other 8,000 were used to absorb damage. The skeleton archmages and sharpshooters also spread out even further. The advantage of doing this was to greatly reduce the possibility of a total annihilation. The disadvantage was that the number of lightning attacks from the lightning aura was greatly reduced. Only such trade-offs could be made. Just now, most of the Undead Legion was engulfed by the explosion. If the power of the explosion had been greater, and the Lich General had been half a beat slower in healing, they might have really been wiped out. Having suffered once, he would never want to suffer a second time. Everything was ready. Crack! A crisp sound rang out. Cracks appeared on the eggshell, and it looked like it was about to hatch. Lin Mo stared intently. The moment it hatched would be the moment to strike. Seconds later, with a burst of shaking from the eggshell, a gap appeared on the eggshell. Immediately afterward, jet black flames burst out from the eggshell. The world lost its color, and daylight faded into darkness. All light was swallowed by the black flames. Terrifying fire rain fell, pattering against the earth. The earth instantly turned into a sea of fire. I'll be damned, Lin Mo couldn't help but exclaim. Is this still a level 68 monster? Even level 70 plus monsters aren't this terrifying. It's not like Lin Mo hasn't fought level 70 monsters before. He's killed several level 70 plus dragon warriors. But how could the dragon warriors be as terrifying as the ancient Luan bird undergoing a second nirvana in front of him? Lin Mo felt that this black fire was enough to burn a dragon warrior to death. He couldn't help but have a thought, what the hell is this core area? Especially this boss in front of me, it's too abnormal. The fire rain continued to fall, and the earth had become a sea of fire. The eggshell trembled more and more violently, and finally exploded with a roar. Along with the eggshell, a sea of fire exploded, as well as a loud scream. Black flames surged like an overwhelming flood. Lin Mo remained unmoved. He had firmly locked onto the ancient Luan bird that shot out of the eggshell. The moment the ancient Luan bird rushed out of the eggshell, Lin Mo's skills had already been thrown out. Letting the bone armor be burned to pieces in the black sea of fire, Lin Mo didn't care, and attacked the ancient Luan bird. Offense is the best defense. Skill, bone prison. The ancient Luan bird was once again bound by dense bones. However, this time it was not affected by the paralysis effect, it only stagnated for a moment and began to struggle desperately. A large number of cracks immediately appeared on the bones of its body. Red light flashed, and the curse descended. Along with it came the attacks of the skeletons. The lightning aura was activated first, and lightning bolts fell from the sky. Elemental explosions landed on its body, and sharp arrows attacked. Lin Mo pointed with his right hand. Skill, Toxic Starburst. A green light appeared in the black flames. Toxic Starburst could effectively prevent it from recovering. The firelight flickered in his left hand, and Soul Flame fell head-on. Lin Mo personally joined the battle, except for that strong soldier skill that had not been used. At this moment, Lin Mo went all out. The Soul Flame brought great pain to the ancient Luan bird. It screamed incessantly and struggled more violently. The skeleton berserkers once again pounced on the ancient Luan bird. They disregarded life and death, fearless of pain, letting the flames burn, and chopped with their axes. The axe carried the light of skills, shattering the ancient Luan bird's defense. Blood splattered, and broken feathers fell. Elemental explosions rumbled, and the newly born ancient Luan bird was once again severely damaged. It wasn't that it wasn't strong enough, it could only be said that the Undead Legion was stronger, and Lin Mo's methods were even more despairing. The struggling power became weaker and weaker, and the screams also subsided. This time it should be about the same. Lin Mo stood in the sea of fire, his eyes cold. Suddenly the sea of fire began to surge towards the ancient Luan bird. In the blink of an eye, the world returned to normal, and all the flames entered the ancient Luan bird's body. Here it comes again. Lin Mo's hair stood on end. Without thinking, he turned around and fled. At the same time, all the skeletons dispersed, moving away as quickly as possible. Just as he flew out 1,000 meters, a loud noise came, followed by an even more terrifying mushroom cloud rising. The shockwave shattered the bone armor and landed heavily on him. 23. Cracks appeared on the skeletons. This time the attack was stronger and more terrifying than the previous two. Lin Moyu's forehead was covered with black lines. Fortunately, he had withdrawn the 8,000 skeleton berserkers to a distance, using them as damage-soaking meat shields. Otherwise, the Undead Legion would have been wiped out this time. Third time, 3 strikes are enough. I don't believe you can have a fourth or fifth time. When the explosion subsided, Lin Moyu flew back with anger. The diameter of the pit was even larger, reaching 3,000 meters. The depth exceeded 200 meters. The sea of fire was boiling, and Lin Moyu rushed into the sea of fire regardless. He once again saw an egg, belonging to the ancient Luan bird. Ancient Luan bird, Lord level boss. Level 69. Status: Final Nirvana rebirth, currently in an invincible state. The level has increased again. Final Nirvana. Lin Moyu smiled as he got this information. It should be the last time. Just as he recalled the Undead Legion, preparing to kill the ancient Luan bird in one fell swoop. Suddenly, the sky twisted, and a giant claw appeared. The giant claw plunged into the pit and grabbed the egg of the ancient Luan bird during Nirvana. Want to intercept? No way. Of course, Lin Moyu wouldn't let the cooked duck fly away. He had killed 3 rounds, and he had been blown up 3 times, how could he let it go so easily? Skill: Bone Prison. White bones grew on the giant claw, paused slightly, and then the bone prison collapsed. Elemental explosions and arrows landed on the giant claw, to no avail. Skeleton berserkers rushed up, but were knocked away by the giant claw. The skeleton berserkers disintegrated directly in midair and died on the spot. Chapter 437. Solidified Essence Blood of the God of Fire. Just being hit caused them to disintegrate and die. His talent didn't work at all. The owner of this giant claw was too terrifying. Lin Moyu looked at the shape of the giant claw and suddenly thought of something. He immediately ordered all the skeletons to stop. He just watched it take away the egg of the ancient Luan bird. Lin Moyu wasn't depressed, just a little puzzled. It actually intervened. Why? It's so high above, why would it intervene for such a small matter? The flames gradually extinguished, leaving a large pit more than 200 meters deep and more than 3,000 meters in diameter. Mu Qianqin ran back and exclaimed excitedly, "How is it? Did you kill it?" Lin Moyu shook his head. "It's actually very simple to know if it's dead or not, just see if you get experience. There's no need to ask." Lin Moyu guessed the answer when he saw Lin Moyu's gloomy face, so he didn't ask any more questions. She came to the edge of the pit and looked down. The pit, scorched by the flames, was as smooth as a mirror. At the bottom of the pit, there were still some flames, but they weren't black. It was a kind of red-purple flame. Not black flames, indicating that it has nothing to do with the ancient Luan bird. There's something in the fire. Mu Qianqin had very good eyesight and saw something in the flames. Lin Moyu looked towards the pit, he could see more clearly from a high position. The flame was red, the purple wasn't the flame, it was something inside. It looked somewhat like a crystal, flickering in the flame, very beautiful. Lin Moyu flew down, wearing bone armor, and rushed into the flames at the bottom of the pit. At this time, Lin Moyu realized that the flames they saw through the earth were not fake, but real flames. There was indeed a sea of fire under the earth. This was a world of fire, with raging flames everywhere. The temperature of the flames was very high, and the damage was not small, comparable to the black fire of the ancient Luan bird. Lin Moyu stood in the flames, replenishing his bone armor from time to time. Other level 60+ professionals simply couldn't last long. I wonder how many years this sea of fire has been burning. Could it be that the ancient Luan bird was conceived in the sea of fire? But what is the root of this sea of fire? Lin Moyu thought in his heart, searching for the purple light spots in the sea of fire, and quickly found them. This was a crystal-like thing, with a prismatic shape. Lin Moyu grabbed it in his hand and could feel the scorching aura and hot energy inside. The detection skill landed on it. Solidified essence blood of the god of fire. Legendary material, the essence blood of the god of fire solidified after thousands of years of burning. Lin Moyu showed a look of surprise, he didn't expect this thing to be solidified essence blood of the god of fire. The whole body of a god is a treasure. Whether it's essence blood or bones, they have extremely high value. A drop of beast god's essence blood almost made Ning Tyran sell his granddaughter. Now this piece of solidified essence blood of the god of fire, a legendary material, its value is estimated to be not low. Holding the solidified essence blood of the god of fire, Lin Moyu left the sea of fire and looked towards the direction where the ancient Luan bird first nirvana fell. It seems that it didn't just find a place for nirvana, but specifically found a place with the essence blood of the god of fire for nirvana. It should know that the essence blood of the god of fire is useful to it, so it deliberately smashed a big pit here and broke through the surface. Its nirvana upgrade, is it also related to the essence blood of the god of fire? Under the sea of fire, could there be more essence blood of the god of fire? Lin Moyu pondered for a moment, then turned to Mu Qianqin and said, "You wait for me here, don't go anywhere." "Okay." Mu Qianqin responded obediently, guaranteeing not to go anywhere. Lin Moyu left the undead legion to protect her, and entered the underground sea of fire again alone. The ancient battlefield has the characteristic of self-repair, this pit is estimated to be repaired soon. I have to go back before the repair is over. Lin Moyu asked the undead legion to watch the pit, and they would notify him if there were any changes. He began to travel quickly in the sea of fire, looking for solidified essence blood of the god of fire. 24. Legendary materials are rare, so I naturally couldn't let them go since I encountered them. After solidification, fire god's essence blood presents a special purple color. It's very dazzling and beautiful, not difficult to find. Lin Moyu had a guess in his mind at this time, could this sea of fire be caused by the fire god? Did something happen back then, and the fire god's blood spilled across the sky, falling here? Did the fire god fall, or is he sleeping? Gods are not easy to die. In historical records, many gods seem to be dead, but they are actually just sleeping. As long as the time is right, they will wake up. Lin Moyu quickly found another piece of solidified fire god's essence blood. It was a bit smaller than the previous one, but it also contained huge blazing energy. Lin Moyu could feel that this was the essence of the fire element. The fire god was originally a god in charge of flames, possessing the supreme authority of the fire element. Its essence blood naturally contains huge fire elements. The Sea of Fire is located underground, huge and boundless. Lin Moyu drove the lightning undead wings to fly in it, but he didn't dare to go too far. In case the exit disappears, he would be trapped inside. He had tried the hardness of the ground, it was very solid. Neither himself nor the undead army could break it open. Half an hour later, the skeleton guarding the exit sent back information. The exit had changed. Lin Moyu returned at full speed without hesitation. The ancient battlefield was repairing itself, and the hole that had been smashed out was gradually disappearing. Lin Moyu flew back at the fastest speed, rushing out of the Sea of Fire with a ball of fire. In half an hour, he found a full 10 pieces of solidified fire god's essence blood. Although the sizes varied, each one was a legendary material. Legendary materials are very rare and valuable. A moment later, the entrance to the Sea of Fire completely disappeared. It was as if a pair of invisible giant hands stroked the earth. Seeking fresh flowers. The huge pit was also gradually recovering. It would be completely restored in a few days. Mu Shenxian asked in a low voice, "What was that just now?" Lin Moyu generously threw a piece to her, signaling her to look at it herself. Mu Shenxian took it, and suddenly exclaimed, "It's so hot." After checking, her eyes widened, "It's actually fire god's essence blood." Lin Moyu asked curiously, "Do you know fire god's essence blood?" Mu Shenxian shook her head, "I don't know." "Then why are you so surprised?" Lin Moyu found it even stranger. Mu Shenxian's reaction seemed a little abnormal. Sister Jia Lan Yiyu once mentioned that the things of gods are very magical and precious. Mu Shenxian was very honest. Lin Moyu thought, it wouldn't be strange for Jia Lan Yiyu to know. After all, she is the young lady of the Jia Lan Guild, and the Jia Lan Guild, as one of the top guilds in the Shengxia Empire, has existed for many years. It's normal to know something about gods. Mu Shenxian looked at it for a while and returned it to Lin Moyu. Although it is a legendary material, in Mu Shenxian's eyes, it is no different from ordinary materials. She had no desire for it at all. Lin Moyu held the solidified fire god's essence blood in his hand, and his heart moved slightly. "Can I use it to summon an elemental lich?" Since he thought of it, he would try it. Skill: Summon elemental lich. Boom! Flames shot up like a pillar, straight into the sky. Instantly piercing the sky, turning the surroundings into a sea of fire. Mu Shenxian exclaimed, startled, and took a few steps back. Even Lin Moyu himself was greatly surprised. At the moment the flames rushed out, he felt the aura of a god-level powerhouse. Different from the god-level powerhouses in the human race, and also different from the aura of the Demon King. But Lin Moyu was very sure that it was the same level of aura as a god-level powerhouse. And the fire pillar that soared into the sky was very similar to the scene he saw when he awakened his skills that day. He felt a burst of excitement in his heart. Could it be that he summoned a god-level elemental lich? A lich half the height of a person walked out of the flames, still a bit cute but even more majestic. The aura on its body was very unstable. The god-level aura gathered and dissipated on its body, floating uncertainly. And gradually there were signs of becoming chaotic, and the huge fire element began to get out of control. Damn, it's going to explode. Lin Moyu's heart moved, and he immediately ordered it to move away and fly into the distance. The flame lich flew towards the distance at the fastest speed, and when it flew about 10 kilometers away, there was a loud noise in the air. A huge fireball appeared in the sky. It exploded. The power of the explosion was very great, even more terrifying than the explosion when the ancient Luan bird underwent nirvana. It's really strange, why did it explode? Lin Moyu couldn't figure it out. Then a flame lich flew out of the exploding fireball and flew back to Lin Moyu. Its appearance was exactly the same as the one he summoned with the fire crystal. After checking, even the attribute aura was exactly the same. Chapter 438. This wild beast is not that wild beast. Lin Moyu was thinking about this question all the way. The final conclusion was that the skill level was not high enough. The level of materials used was too high-end, not just as simple as legendary materials. The solidified fire god's essence blood possessed the power of a god. His skill level couldn't cover it. A level 50 skill might only be able to use platinum level materials. Level 70 and above can use legendary materials. However, Lin Moyu thought of another method. He could use the solidified fire god's essence blood to summon a flame lich, and then let it carry out a suicide attack on the enemy. An attack containing the power of a god is extremely powerful. This can also make up for his lack of explosiveness to a certain extent. What are you thinking about? Mu Shenxian saw that Lin Moyu hadn't spoken for a long time, and although there was no change in expression, she still saw some information from Lin Moyu's eyes. Nothing. Lin Moyu didn't directly answer her words. 25. Mu Qianqin didn't ask any further upon seeing this. She was simple-minded and well-behaved, and wouldn't ask questions she shouldn't. Lin Moyu didn't hide anything, some things she wouldn't understand even if he told her. Only he, as the person using the skills, could understand the subtle feelings they brought. Combined with the final result, he could analyze layer by layer to find the answer. The feeling of using each skill was different. Most professionals were still in the usage stage of understanding skills. They used them and didn't think too much about it. This was true not only for advanced professionals, but also for some top-level and even peak professionals. Not many people could truly feel and understand the details of skills. Lin Moyu was now at the stage of knowing what was happening and wanting to know why. It wasn't enough to just know how to use them, he also wanted to understand their roots. Unconsciously, Lin Moyu was walking on a broader path. The two walked for another 2 days, covering thousands of kilometers. The ground beneath their feet changed again, no longer transparent and no longer burning with flames. Lin Moyu knew they were leaving the territory of the ancient Luan bird. In these 2 days, they hadn't encountered any monsters. The ancient Luan bird, with its overbearing nature, didn't allow any monsters to exist in its territory. Only after leaving its territory did other monsters appear in their sight. Lin Moyu stopped in his tracks the moment he saw the monsters. He didn't have the undead army attack directly, but watched from a distance. Mu Qianqin asked strangely, "What's wrong?" Lin Moyu didn't speak, but his entire being entered a state of readiness. Mu Qianqin couldn't help but become nervous at the sight. The monster in front of them looked like a tiger and a deer, with thick fur and a long tail. Mu Qianqin asked, "Is this monster very powerful?" "Wild beast." Lin Moyu's lips moved slightly, uttering 2 words. The monster in front of him was exactly the same as the wild beasts he had seen in the desolate void. Why would wild beasts appear in the eternal battlefield? After observing for a while, Lin Moyu finally discovered some anomalies. Although the two were 90% similar in appearance, there were still differences in the subtle details. He had only seen them in a hurry a few times during his job change. Wild beasts had a special ferocity, but the monster in front of him clearly didn't. Mu Qianqin tilted her head. "Are wild beasts very powerful?" She hadn't heard of wild beasts, and didn't even know about the existence of the desolate void. Generally speaking, wild beasts weren't very powerful, but they were very difficult to deal with. Their characteristic of only being injured but not dying made them almost invincible. The truly powerful ones were the wild beast kings, even someone at Bai Yiyuan's level had to avoid them. Could it just look similar? Lin Moyu muttered to himself, flicking his finger. Battlefield Wild Beast Elite Monster. Level 68. Strength 150,000. Agility 150,000. Spirit 50,000. Constitution 150,000. Skill Flash Impact. Trait Rapid Recovery, Enhanced Vitality. Lin Moyu felt relieved the moment he saw the attributes. First of all, being able to see the attributes meant that it wasn't a true wild beast. The attributes of true wild beasts couldn't be seen. Its name was Battlefield Wild Beast, so it must have some connection to wild beasts. Lin Moyu couldn't figure out what the specific relationship was for a while. However, as long as it wasn't a true wild beast, Lin Moyu didn't care even if it was a level 68 boss. The detection technique alarmed the Battlefield Wild Beast, and it charged towards Lin Moyu. At the same time, Lin Moyu gave an order, and the undead army went up to meet it. Amidst the rumbling, elemental explosions erupted on the Battlefield Wild Beast. Hundreds of skeleton archmages attacked at the same time, injuring it almost in the blink of an eye. Its defense was clearly not as good as the ancient Luan bird. Lin Moyu pointed his finger, and the curse of aging fell. The Battlefield Wild Beast's speed suddenly slowed down. The Battlefield Wild Beast glowed slightly, activating its skill. Its figure flickered several times, disappearing in an instant. 1 second later, it appeared in front of the skeleton archmages, heavily hitting them. Several skeleton archmages were knocked away immediately. Skill, flash impact. Lin Moyu could feel that this strike was powerful. If it weren't for the comprehensive connection talent, the skeleton archmages might have been instantly killed. It was still a level 68 boss after all, not made of mud. It continuously used its skills, appearing and disappearing unpredictably. The skeleton archmage's elemental explosions couldn't accurately lock onto it, constantly exploding in empty space. The skeleton berserkers were even more helpless, unable to catch up. Only the skeleton marksman's soul lock could track it firmly, never missing an arrow. The curse could slow down its movements, but not its skills. It was always using skills. At this time, its traits were fully revealed. As a boss, coupled with enhanced vitality, it possessed vitality comparable to a lord-level boss. Rapid recovery was even more so. It had clearly been injured just now, but it had already recovered in the blink of an eye. What surprised Lin Moyu the most was that its flash impact skill had no cooldown at all, as if it could be used without limit. This also led to it becoming elusive, with no one knowing where it would appear next. What a strange monster. Lin Moyu wasn't flustered, using the skeleton marksman to lock onto the battlefield wild beast. Skill, Bone Prison. The battlefield wild beast immediately revealed its figure, its body covered in dense white bones. The white bones intertwined into a net, trapping it firmly. The next second, elemental explosions bloomed again on its body, emitting a brilliant light. Mu Qianshin cheered from the side. It can't move now, right? The skeleton berserkers also arrived, unleashing their skills one after another. The skeleton berserkers' skills had the greatest power, immediately causing huge damage to the battlefield wild beast. 26. But its recovery ability was too strong. After being injured, it could completely recover in no time. A burst of green light exploded. The poisonous starburst dyed the battlefield wild beast green. The characteristic of the poison-type skill suppressed the battlefield wild beast's rapid recovery ability. Skills restricted, recovery ability restricted. The battlefield wild beast was left with no power to resist. Mu Qianshin took the opportunity to run over and set off a firework. Lin Moyu also released more skeletons to join the attack. Just 1 minute later, the battlefield wild beast crashed to the ground. Killed battlefield wild beast, experience plus 207000. Obtained wild beast short sword. Obtained wild beast bone. Obtained wild beast short sword through collection. Obtained wild beast bone through collection. Wild beast short sword assassin only platinum grade weapon, all attributes plus 3500, assassin type skill amplification 100%. Comes with skill 1.7, flash. Flash, can teleport within a 10-meter range, can be used 10 times consecutively, then enters cooldown time is 5 minutes. Wild beast bone, platinum grade material, has recovery properties, can be used to create weapons and equipment. The wild beast short sword obtained through collection still did not come with a skill. However, this wild beast short sword was a very high-quality weapon in Lin Moyu's eyes. It possessed top-tier attribute bonuses among platinum-grade weapons, skill amplification, and even came with a practical and powerful skill. The flash skill could make assassins even more elusive, and could also be used to avoid damage, fully utilizing the assassin's flexible advantages. Lin Moyu now had a considerable understanding of the characteristics of the assassin class and knew how good this weapon was. The wild beast bone was also considered a very powerful platinum-grade material. Lin Moyu held the wild beast bone. Can this thing be used to summon an elemental lich? Let's try. Once the thought arose, it could no longer be suppressed. A gray-white light shone in his hand, growing stronger and stronger. Lin Moyu revealed a look of joy. It really can. Chapter 439. New Elemental Lich, Undying Aura. Lin Moyu was just trying it out. Summoning an elemental lich required materials containing elemental attributes. Judging purely from the attributes of the wild beast bone, it did not specify containing any element. However, it possessed the characteristic of self-repair, and Lin Moyu intuitively felt that this might be an alternative element. There were thousands of elements in the world, not just simple elements like fire, wind, and light. Besides some common elements, there were also many unheard of elements, rare elements. With the mentality of trying it out without losing anything, he used the skill to summon an elemental lich. The light of the skill slowly lit up. The quota of 6 elemental liches was already full. If he wanted to summon a new elemental lich, he had to replace one of them. Lin Moyu thought for a moment and decided to replace the Light Lich. Currently, the Light Lich had the least use, only able to play a role when facing abyss demons. Moreover, there were a large number of light crystals, with 3 still on his body. Even if he needed the Light Lich in the future, he could summon it back at any time. The gray-white light grew brighter and brighter. This kind of light was the first time Lin Moyu had seen it, very peculiar. There was no dazzling feeling. Even if it was bright, it was still very gentle. An elemental lich with a gray-white body jumped out from it. Platinum Grade Elemental Lich. Level 50. Strength 90,000. Agility 90,000. Spirit 90,000. Constitution 90,000. Skill Undying Aura. Undying Aura. All members of the Undead Legion will not die upon receiving a fatal blow for the first time. The aura will restore 50% of their health. Aura cooldown time 24 hours. Lin Moyu looked at the aura's attributes and was somewhat shocked. With this aura in place, his Undead Legion would become even stronger. Even an explosive attack like that of the ancient Luan bird, which could cause devastating damage to the Undead Legion could survive well. In this way, safety was greatly enhanced. As long as the Undead Legion did not die, then he would not die. Unless he encountered the existence that ignored his talent skills. Otherwise, he would be very safe. This Lich replacement was very correct. Replacing the Light Lich that was temporarily not needed with the Undying Lich was a big win. Through this, Lin Moyu also confirmed his guess that the so-called elemental materials were not only wind, fire, and light, but also some special elemental materials. If he encountered such materials in the future, he could also try them. For 8 full days, the two traveled a long distance of 10,000 kilometers. Along the way, they killed a large number of monsters and encountered many bosses. Unfortunately, they never encountered the battlefield wild beast again. Otherwise, Lin Moyu could have had a few more wild beast bones. The two were getting closer and closer to the center. They could already see beams of light rising, converging and dispersing in the air, turning into strips of light, flying into the distance, covering the entire ancient battlefield. The location of the light pillars was Lin Moyu's target, the center of the upper space. The earth changed again. It was no longer smooth, but full of cracks, with black stones sticking up from the ground, making it uneven and difficult to walk. Lin Moyu had a strange feeling when he stepped on it, as if these were not just gravel. He had the skeleton berserker try to use a skill to chop at the ground. The ground was unharmed, terribly hard. Lin Moyu stopped and looked into the distance. I'll go up and take a look. He flew into the air and saw this kind of black gravel densely extending into the distance, without end in sight. The ground was silent, without a single monster. The 7-colored light in the air fell down, but it was all absorbed by the earth. The entire earth was scorched black, as if it had been burned by war. The more Lin Moyu looked at it, the more strange he felt. These raised gravel seemed to have some kind of pattern. He flew higher, his expression gradually becoming solemn. These gravel were like scales on the body of some creature. Mu Qianshin couldn't help but ask after waiting for Lin Moyu to return, "What's wrong?" Lin Moyu said in a low voice, "I can't explain it, I just feel like something is wrong." Mu Qianshin didn't have Lin Moyu's feeling, she just felt that the road had become difficult to walk, and she would accidentally trip and fall, and might even fall into the cracks. However, if Lin Moyu said something was wrong, there must be some problem, but she just couldn't see it. Be careful. Lin Moyu had the Undead Legion spread out around, on guard at all times. The black earth seemed to have no end, and the two walked for a whole day without reaching the end. 27. They had been moving towards the light pillar, so the direction was definitely correct. But no matter how they walked, it seemed like they would never reach the end. The light pillar seemed unchanged, still so far away. At this point, Lin Moyu could only choose to continue moving forward. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew over, a very strange wind that gave Lin Moyu a creepy feeling. A large number of light spots fell from the sky, merging into the wind, blowing past Lin Moyu and Mu Shenxian. The two instantly disappeared from where they were. After a few seconds of teleportation, Lin Moyu found himself in a colorful world. Here, there were beams of light piercing the sky everywhere. The colorful lights converged in the sky here. The center. Lin Moyu knew he had arrived at the center of the core area. As for how he got here, he didn't need to think to know the answer. The only one who could bring him here silently was it, there was no other. Mu Shenxian was lying beside him, seemingly unconscious. It must have been its doing. This was the second time Mu Shenxian had been knocked unconscious by it, so Lin Moyu wasn't surprised. It seemed unwilling to let too many people know of its existence. Or perhaps, it felt that not many people were qualified to talk to it. Its various actions and words were all filled with arrogance. Lin Moyu raised his head and saw it. Its size was too large, merely lying on the ground made it look like a small mountain. Lin Moyu estimated that if it stood up, its height would probably exceed 100 meters, or even more. A pair of huge wings rested on the ground, their diameter hard to estimate. It looked listless, lazily raising its eyelids to look at Lin Moyu. "You finally arrived, what took you so long?" A huge voice rang in his ears. Lin Moyu said in a low voice, "It's all right, it wasn't that long." Although it was powerful, Lin Moyu remained neither humble nor arrogant. It continued, "Your leveling speed is too slow, it took you so long to reach level 50. "I was delayed by some things," Lin Moyu said truthfully. "Hey, although your level is a bit low, your combat strength is not bad." It continued, "Little Black, come out." Accompanied by a sharp cry, a small bird covered in flames flew out from under it. Lin Moyu narrowed his eyes slightly, it was indeed the ancient Luan bird. Only it had the ability to forcefully rescue the 720 ancient Luan bird from his hands. The ancient Luan bird shrieked at Lin Moyu, its body blazing with black flames. Obviously, it held a grudge against Lin Moyu for almost killing it. "Little Black, shut up," it said, and the ancient Luan bird immediately shut its mouth, becoming quiet. Lin Moyu looked at it, "Is this your pet?" Its voice was still lazy, "More or less, I sensed something I need on you." Lin Moyu immediately guessed what it was talking about, he didn't expect that things he put in his storage space could be sensed. This giant dragon was indeed a bit terrifying. Lin Moyu took out the box that Yi Shen had given him, and took out the small bead from the box. The moment it saw the bead, it perked up. "Did Zhang Yi ask you to bring this?" Lin Moyu saw joy in its eyes. "Yes, God Yi asked me to bring it. God Yi said that he has done what he could for you, and hopes that you will also keep your promise." The giant dragon burst into earth-shattering laughter, shaking the light pillars until they were distorted and deformed. The surrounding earth rumbled and cracked, shattering into pieces. Lin Moyu was slightly shocked, he had originally thought that it was very, very strong, but he had no specific concept. Now he finally had a bit of an idea, the solid earth that he couldn't even make a mark on with all his strength, was actually shattered by its laughter. From this, it could be seen that even his undead army could be directly destroyed by the other party's two laughs. This kind of existence was too terrifying. After laughing for a while, the giant dragon opened its mouth and sucked, and the bead was immediately swallowed by it, then it said in a deep voice, "This king will naturally keep his promise." Chapter 440, Why don't you just tell me what you're missing? Lin Moyu didn't even know what the deal between Zhang Yi and it was. Anyway, he had delivered the things according to Zhang Yi's request. Next, it was none of his business, and with the other party's strength, he couldn't interfere even if he wanted to. Whether it would really keep its promise depended on its conscience. After swallowing the bead, its eyes towards Lin Moyu changed slightly, "You are now qualified to know my name." Lin Moyu understood, and with a flick of his finger, the detection skill stirred up a gentle breeze. Earth Dragon Antares Great World Class Boss. Level 100. Strength, Agility, Spirit, Constitution. Skills, Traits. Except for the name and level, all other information was question marks. Lin Moyu was completely shocked. Earth Dragon Antares, a great world-class boss, unheard of. It had already surpassed all the knowledge he currently possessed. The level was as high as 100. At this moment, Lin Moyu even suspected whether this level was deliberately displayed by it. Antares was very satisfied with Lin Moyu's current appearance, and laughed again, "Are you very shocked? You should feel honored, not many people can know my name. Indeed, at least in the historical records of the human race, there has never been this name. The ancient battlefield has existed for who knows how many years. This also shows that Antares has existed for countless years. Being able to possess such a long lifespan is itself an extremely incredible existence. Even the god-level powerhouses of the human race have long been buried in the river of time. But the other party can continue to exist forever. Its strength has exceeded the limits." Antares laughed enough, turned to look at Lin Moyu, "Little guy, next I want to make a deal with you." Not many people are qualified to make a deal with me. In the human race for thousands of years, there are only a handful. Believe me, you won't regret making a deal with me. Lin Moyu asked, what deal, tell me. Antares said, in the lower space of the ancient battlefield, there is a place called Burial Thunder Canyon. I want you to go there and bring back something from it. Along with its words, 10,000 stars fell from the sky, weaving lifelike pictures in the air. 28. The scene shows the terrain of the Burial Dragon Canyon and its location in the lower space. At the deepest part of the Burial Dragon Canyon, there is a huge crystal. From the picture, the crystal is at least a dozen meters high, integrated with the canyon. Antares said, when you get to the Burial Dragon Canyon, find this crystal, then drip this on the crystal, and bring back what's inside the crystal. As he spoke, a drop of bright red dragon blood flew from Antares' fingertip and landed in Lin Mo's hand. The dragon blood was the size of a fist, in a semi-solidified state, and would not dissipate or break. It does not need any container to hold it, and can be directly stored in the storage space. Lin Mo knew that this matter would not be simple, at least not as easy as Antares said. Why don't you go yourself? In Lin Mo's concept, with Antares' strength, it should not be difficult to go to the Burial Dragon Canyon. Antares snorted softly, there is a reason why I don't go. Lin Mo did not ask the reason, but said, but I am only level 50, going to the lower space requires at least level 70, you may have to wait. Antares shook his head, no hurry, don't forget when you can go. But remember, it's best not to exceed level 80 when entering the Burial Dragon Canyon, otherwise it may be a little troublesome. Lin Mo asked, is it dangerous inside? Antares said in a low voice, it is naturally a bit dangerous, but for you, it should be fine. Should be. This word is too difficult to grasp. Lin Mo felt a little hairy in his heart, not very believing his words. Antares continued, do you accept this deal? Lin Mo shrugged, what if I refuse? Antares spoke bluntly, if you refuse, I will send you away, erase this memory of yours. And you will never want to step into this place again in your life. He also glanced at Mu Qianshan without a trace. I'm on a pirate ship. Lin Mo thought in his heart, he understood Antares' words. If he didn't refuse, then he would be driven away from here. Erasing his memory, Lin Mo had no doubt that Antares could do it. As for Mu Qianshan, don't even think about leaving. Antares' glance meant very clearly. Lin Mo also said, aren't you afraid that I will agree and not go? Antares laughed, seeming very happy, when you know the conditions I give, you will definitely go. My transaction is an equal exchange, absolutely fair and just. Seeing his confident appearance, Lin Mo said, okay, I agree to this deal. He had to agree, unless he wanted to kill Mu Qianshan. After hearing Lin Mo's agreement, Antares smiled extremely happily. Very good, then next, I will talk about the benefits I will give you. I will give you a set of equipment, legendary equipment. Lin Mo shook his head when he heard this, I don't want it. Antares was stunned for a moment, I didn't hear wrong, you said you don't want it. This is legendary equipment, there are not many pieces of legendary equipment in your human race. Lin Mo said, my profession is special, any equipment is useless to me. Antares glared at Lin Mo with his dragon eyes. Lin Mo's necromancer profession could not be concealed from him. Necromancer, this profession has never been seen before, it is a new profession of your human race. It actually rejects equipment, what a ghostly profession. Let me think, what else can I give you? Antares muttered. He had never seen a profession that would reject equipment. After thinking for a moment, he said again, you are level 50 now, right? I can give you a piece of the bloodthirsty python's heart-protecting meat, and I can protect you to eat it, increasing all attributes by 20,000. A diaresis A, you should know what it means to increase the basic attributes by 20,000. In the future, every time you level up, your attributes will increase a little more than others. When you reach the 3rd rank, the probability of profession sublimation will also increase. Antares was full of confidence when he said this, he believed that no human race professional could refuse this temptation. Of course, a piece of heart-protecting meat is not enough, when you complete the transaction, I can also. Speaking here, he saw Lin Mo shaking his head again. What's wrong again? He asked suspiciously. Lin Mo said simply, I have eaten it, I ate it during the 2nd rank. Antares came over and smelled Lin Mo, and then slowly said, I really ate it, you have the smell of a bloodthirsty python on you. What about the bloodthirsty python brain? Lin Mo said, my teacher will get it for me. Your teacher? A human race god-level powerhouse, the bloodthirsty python is not easy to deal with, your teacher may not be able to get it. Antares seemed to still have the last hope. Lin Mo said, I have 3 teachers, all of them are god-level, one of them you have seen, you also said he was too weak. Antares turned his mind and already knew who Lin Mo was talking about, and said in a deep voice, indeed, he is still a bit qualified. If the 3 Li Qianzhao people are all of his strength, they do have a chance to kill the bloodthirsty python. Let me think again, what can I give you? For human race professionals, equipment is very important, for good equipment, every professional is constantly pursuing. So Antares threw out the bait of equipment at the beginning. He believed that under the temptation of a whole set of legendary equipment, no one could refuse. But he happened to encounter a freak like Lin Mo. Equipment is not good, then change the basic attributes. Strong equipment is not as good as being strong yourself, being able to enhance your own basic attributes is also the dream of every professional. But Lin Mo is not short of it either. This time Antares was in trouble, since it is a transaction, he must take out equivalent items. Elemental God Stone, it can increase the probability of profession sublimation during the 3rd rank. Lin Mo took out the Elemental God Stone, I have it. How about the Talent God Stone? Lin Mo took out the Talent God Stone, I have it too. ... Antares said several things in a row, either Lin Mo was not short of it, or he did not need it. He was depressed, lazily lying on the ground, looking even more listless. You say, what are you short of?